Good day. We got a good one. I just got off, so I kind of have to hurry. It's about to start. We got Fnatic and Team Heretics. End of stage 1. It's gonna be awesome. Happy Friday. Hope everyone's feeling good. YouTube, thank you for having me. We're just gonna do a watch party. Pansy and Hypoc are casting, I think. I'm gonna shut up and let them do their job. Love you guys. Hope you guys are good. Let's watch some Valorant. You keep me up all night, all night.
Previous game we were playing full question mark. This game I want us to start removing that question marks from our head. Example from the last round. We have so many ideas. Patrick, you can say, come in, let's walk B, Geo, be careful A. We're not even helping each other as a team. We're just staying and we just full silence, boys. We're not literally how we were playing the game. Question mark B, question mark mid, question mark A. No one take responsibility. We're gonna re-clear mid, careful A. We're gonna re-clear B, careful A. We're not saying that things, boys. That's our fundamental protocols. Don't be surprised why we're playing bad. That's literally the way why we are the best. That's why we are here and 3-1. That's why we went to Bangkok, boys, before. That's how we were always having good communication.
And that is exactly how they managed to win that third and last map of the series. Especially with those kind of speeches, you definitely have to lock in. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Kakuka, your host. Ulises and Tom joining me here, as you can see, and I just said. Team Liquid manages to close the series and also secure that first spot. Well, not that first spot, that first seed for going into playoffs. A lot of question marks then for what's going to happen in some of the matches, but we do know that BBL will be playing Navi. That's going to be one of the first matches, you know? Yeah. That's something to be excited about, but definitely the second match of today will give us more information. Before we jump into talking a little bit more about this match that we just witnessed, you see that there is a timer for 36 minutes. Nothing broke, but we are giving the players from both Fnatic and Team Heretics a little bit more time to get adjusted to the stage and making sure that the pieces are working and everything, so we don't have more issues moving forward. Now, going back onto what we were saying, what a light that we've just seen from Team Liquid. Tom, do you think it has to do with that speech that we just saw, or it goes much deeper?
I think just like going back to sort of talking about Nats when he first became a leader, I think no one ever questioned him individually, but there are a lot of question marks being like, okay, is it going to affect him taking over that leadership role? Moments like that kind of make me realize that maybe he's actually built for this sort of role, because that was basically just, it was a way to be critical to your team while also getting them ready for the next map, like talking about like, we normally do this. The reason we're losing is not because they're better than us. It's not because they're doing this, and this. It's because we're not doing our own thing. And I think sometimes that's far more important than anything you can pick to like pick your opponent apart. It's just, okay, we're not coming properly. We need to fix that. And
All right, so turns out they're gonna give him a little bit more time. Howdy, howdy. Let me get some agua, and then we'll ease into the day real quick. I'm gonna grab, yeah, let me grab an agua, and we'll be right back. Leave this on for you guys. We'll do a little chit chat while we're down.
He sometimes plays Viper, like
you don't
Cypher.
know what to play with him. He's gonna be staying watching mid on Icebox with an allow for the long lane every single round, not doing anything.
Yeah.
He's playing a 4 against 5. Please don't talk about Mitch.
Leave Mitch alone. Leave Mitch alone. How about, and now that you're speaking about, well, now that you're speaking about Icebox, let's actually talk about Lotus and some of the things that we saw there. Because Camo, from that Gecko now back onto that duelist. Tom, you wanted to see the Waylay, and he definitely delivered.
I just enjoy watching him play this agent. I think like the additional boost you get with the dash, the fact that he's taken in so much extra little piece of information, I'm just really impressed with how he's able to play individually to get them into positions. And then earlier we were speaking all the time about their sort of ratty little post plants.
It's really hard to play with and deal with it, because you have to stop Camo. If you let Camo bring the space, and it's so hard when we see the play we see right now, it's hard to deal, because then after you have the post plan. And if we want to do the post plan, we have to check every single where they're placing Nats. He has one on the back. There is going to be an extra one on the side, and also every single stun coming from Tejo, also the missiles coming from Tejo. And the most important thing, deadlock. There is a wall stopping you from pushing from outside. Even Waterfall if you're playing on B, even Waterfall if you're playing on C. or if you're playing on 8, he's denying the stairs. And every single time you have to deal with all the utility. Meanwhile, you have to try to get into the spike and defuse it and kill every single one. If they get the space, there's no chance that you can try to make a retake. At least with this combo that they're playing. But how you stop them?
The thing that's impressive to me is what the deadlock ultimately does with the wall is, you know, the sort of initial part of a round, like where like Nats on defense will like go and set up all his little trips, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna maybe
God,
hit, or I could take one back, or I'll put one hit, and my cam's gonna go up here, and you go, well, on attack, he's not gonna have time to do that. He does have time to do it because there's a deadlock wall.
All right. Where are we at here? We're just gonna take it easy, man. We made it to Friday. We're just gonna ease right on into this Friday, dude. And then I had Sam. Thank you for doing the thumbnails. If you see this down the road, you saved me time today that I don't have to do it right now, and I can watch this. So I appreciate that, dude. You're an absolute legend, and I love you, man. I love you. All right, get that bad boy poured up. How are we? Happy Friday. YouTube, as always, thank you for having me. What do we chat about? All right, so anyone that needs filled in, VCT, they went down only a few days ago, and so they went down. They were just having, you know, they've been having tech issues or whatever, and they finally not finally, it actually only took them 3 days. So it was like really quick. So you know, EMEA, VCT, Riot Games, whoever, you know, whoever that comes to, that was really quick. Nicely done. Cheers to you guys. Much love. I've been waiting for this Fnatic. I'm a huge I mess with Chronicle, and I think the pickup Kayak is huge. And even though I miss Leo, killing it, and they're like revamped, look good, and I don't know, I don't know, Chronicle's a beast. So they're revamped and they're going up against Team Heretics, and they're pretty good. So this is to secure first seed, I believe. I don't know why it says Team Liquid secure first seed. Yeah, I'm not really sure, but enjoy, guys. I'm with you in spirit. I'll be in chat. Get it.
To be
Oh
on
my
my
God.
rankeds.
No. No,
It's a great
wait.
plan.
So he plays the
He can
Viper,
IGL my ranked.
And then you have the Cypher. Who's the one man who can make Cypher work on Icebox? If you're going to tell me... who's the one man who can actually make the Cypher work on Icebox? I think Nats could do it.
Yeah, but his Viper is so good. Didn't he finish that Icebox with like 200 ADR even though they lost?
Sure. But they lost.
But hold on.
Okay, Thomas.
So now you make a
yeah,
change.
so the solution
Trust me,
the solution
it will
is
work.
okay.
And he's still going to get
Just
200
bring
ADR on
Oh, but the
getting me.
timings of his walls and everything is just so good.
So well, you don't think Hiko could do that?
No, honestly, I think that he's brilliant at many other things. He surprised me a lot when he was on the Brimstone and whatnot, but I do not expect a player just
think
for
you would have
being
said
good
the same
to
thing
step into
when he
Nat's
switched
shoes.
to Omen.
Yo, Dad, Mommy,
Sorry?
just
I think you
stop
would have said
fighting.
the same thing when he
We can
switched
have
to
him
Omen.
playing on Omen. It's okay. He can play Omen.
Best
It's okay.
Omen in the league? Question mark.
What else is I mean, we
could
have some
be.
contenders, but definitely the best reroll or one of the best rerolls that we've had.
I think he
not
can do it. Maybe I'm just more of a Kiko believer than you are. That's okay.
I think that we're on the Cats train, but I'm more on the Nats and you're more on the Kiko. And
I just believe that Nats can do it on Cypher as well. You're just a Kiko hater. It's okay. We can move on.
Okay, honestly, let's move on. Let's take a look at the standings and see how this last match, well, penultimate match, it has shapen up things. As I was saying, this on the right side, Group Omega, everything is locked. Team Liquid, the first one, the first seed, BBL second, Foot, and KC. And as I said, that means that BBL will be playing against Navi because it's C2 versus C3 on the first day, which means that for our next match, the loser will play up against Foot.
Wow.
Interesting.
And Foot is always they're dangerous.
Fnatic to maybe get.
They're like dangerous. Foot is dangerous no matter what. They come to play every single match, I feel like.
freer way to get through into the bracket. But I think the bigger thing for Foot is that they've managed to basically get that seed. By KC losing, they don't go into that single elimination. And that's the terrifying prospect, because now you look at KC and go, okay, either someone else will have to beat Vitality, or maybe they will. And then you're going to have teams dropping down into that lower bracket as well. It's going to be a tough road for them, and I think they've got a lot of work to do to get to a point where they could qualify.
Actually, Carmine Corp is playing against Fnatic. No, against the loser of the winner.
He's trying to do it
Yeah,
live on
it's
air.
against
Too
the
many.
loser.
I'm lost.
We'll
I'm
keep
already
you
lost.
updated on
Too
that
many
one.
info.
Do not worry, because by the end of
Give me
today,
the
we
bracket.
will have a bracket, so we will show you like who's playing against who, and all the information that we can give you. We will have that ready. But guys, let's take a short break, because after this, we'll have Heretics going up against Fnatic.
Yes.
same, put that on the name. I had to go through it just to get to it, look what I became. Elevate, level up, way to the top, headed to the peak. All them boys wanna talk, hit them out of law, but don't got receipts. I do it with ease, to you it's a burden, to me it's a breeze. You feel that? That witness degree, that kickback. You coming at me, boy, sit back. Came out the womb like this, hit the pedal and room right quick. Gotta get it, we going up, way up, might land on the moon. Who step in a room like this? We breaking the rules right quick. They killing the mood and up in the few, might land in the tomb. I ain't gonna lose it now. Gotta keep it moving now. Elevate, level up, way to the top, headed to the peak. All them boys wanna talk, hit them out of love, but don't got receipts. Elevate, level up, way to the top, headed to the peak. All them boys wanna talk, hit them out of love, but don't got receipts. Bad with a vengeance, killing the ops, I'm leaving no remnants. They all in attendance. Gotta go big, I aim for the fences. It's mine, I sense it. Back in the scene, I'm back to the business. Back on the front line, gotta grind. It's time, let you be the witness. At the time, turn a repeat to a 3P, yeah. Got the franchise on me, you more like G Lee, yeah. 21st century, you all the way BC, yeah. Old boys been washed up, I'm nashed up in TT. Hey, came out the womb like
Hello everybody and welcome to Spray It, Don't Say It, a new segment where we're going to put players head to head to see who's got those drawing skills down. The way this is going to work, gentlemen, is I'm going to give you a card. On the card is a prompt. Don't say the prompt out loud. Don't write down any words that could give the prompt away. I'm going to start with yourself. Your prompt is given over here, Crash. 20 seconds on the clock. I'm counting in my head, so this is going to be more like 40.
I can't do that one.
Yes, the countdown. Yeah, we're going to get DMCA'd for that, so that's getting cut and posed.
I can make a song up.
Oh yeah? Give us it.
Yo, so good, I'm gonna draw. Yo, what's going on? His name is Crashies. He's drawing on a piece of whiteboard, looking so fly.
Oh, this is so hard. I lost
American
for sure. I don't even know what
I don't know what he's gonna draw. I might die. Hope I don't though, cause I played real good. Now I'm gonna
so
crash
bad.
it.
It's
He
so
ain't
bad.
from the hood. He from
It's so bad.
Give you a 5-second count.
California. You better
4,
watch out, cause I'm
3,
gonna phone ya.
2, 1. Show us what you've drawn, Crashies.
Oh god, it's
Oh
one of
my
the best.
goodness, that's
Can you
something.
guess? Can you guess
That's
what this
something.
is?
What is Crashies drawn here?
Is that Valorant related?
It is Valorant. They're all Valorant related. Crashies had to draw an ability.
Clothes thing.
That's a good guess.
Good guess, but
Not
it is
quite.
not.
Not quite.
And what's going on with their face?
They're
Sky
blinded.
Flash. That's a Sky Flash!
I told you,
Where's
bro.
the
It's terrible.
ponytail?
It's terrible.
Boaster,
Yes, mate.
your
I'm ready.
challenge is to draw this.
Okay.
Okay. Your time starts now. Crashies, I don't know if you want to make up a song on the spot to sing for
I
Boaster.
got none.
No, nothing's coming to mind?
Jake Howlett. He's from London. That's my boy.
Oh?
That's my dog.
Oh?
I also call him my frog.
Oh.
There we go.
All right, pens down. What has Boaster drawn?
Is this an ability?
No, it's an area on the map.
Yes, it is an area on the map.
It's,
That's your
okay.
clue.
I know what this is. Okay, it's on a scent, and
Yeah.
it's bench. We call it bench, but it's like close right mid.
Yeah.
That's what the
That's good
frog
enough.
on the
I think we
bench.
give him the points.
There we go.
And
Yeah.
that is this one.
That is me. Now, this is something that I think you'll be quite familiar with.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Can you visualize it?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, all right, this is good. The prompt is given. Your time starts now.
Yo, listen, I don't know if you've been listening. He's got this drawing and it's glistening. His hair's so fine, he went to the barber all the time. His name is Austin Roberts, and he's clutching so fine. There we go.
That was wonderful. Thank you very much for that, Boaster. I think we could do a whole segment with just you improvising songs.
I could do that.
3, 2, 1, pens down.
Looks like he's drawing clouds there.
Let's see what he's gone for.
It's so bad.
Wait, it took you that long to draw that?
That's
After a long game, mate.
2025.
That's something.
It's the EMEA trophy.
It's I mean, I feel like you almost get half points because you said
Yeah,
it.
let's give him halvesies at least.
It was the Champs Trophy.
When?
2025.
That's not...
Honestly, yours was cooking though. It looked like a giant orb of like future
Of
success.
aura.
It could
Of
be.
aura.
If anything, I think that should be the inspiration for a revitalized Champs Trophy. We have to change it now. With these ideas, they're too
Thank
good
you.
to leave
I know,
behind.
thank you.
Ooh.
Okay, 20 seconds on the clock. It's a little bit of a tougher one.
Okay.
I'll see if you need another hint, but I'm pretty sure Boaster's drawing is gonna show you everything you need to see.
Equip in game.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You gotta be running out of time here. Okay. Oh,
That is just not.
did that help?
Smite?
Yes!
Really?
The Smite Outlaw. That was the
Wow.
problem. Good guess.
I cheated
Good
a bit.
draw. I have an
Two.
extra one.
Not
Two
sure.
each.
2 each.
I think we got one more, right?
We've got one more each.
One more each. I'm going to the beach. I don't even know what I'm gonna say in my speech.
Oh!
Austin drawing and snoring because I can't sleep because I'm goal scoring.
Oh.
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Kill
Do you
scoring?
often snore when you don't sleep?
Oh, that's.
I think maybe.
He's done it there. It's video evidence.
Yeah. To be fair, I was sleep talking last night.
Yeah?
Yeah. Sue sent me some audios of me sleep talking.
Do you rant about Valorant in your sleep, or is it just incoherent rambling?
Depends. One time it was like, I'm sorry, I lost the clutch. Goodness.
I've got it.
That's it. I'm rubbing.
All right, the 5 count's coming in. 5.
I'm ready.
Oh, you're ready already?
I'm ready.
We're skipping the 5 count. That was a little over 20 seconds, but don't worry about it.
Ready.
Yeah, I'm ready for you, baby.
What are you seeing?
Boombot.
Let's go.
Immediately.
We're
Let's go.
synergized
Great
now. We're
drawing.
synergized.
Thank
You
Thank
killed
you.
it there, Crashies.
We're
I mean,
not-
we were warming up for a while there, but we've hit it out the park.
It's like a Haven 2v3.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. And now your final prompt. I'm curious to see where you go with this one.
Oh.
So I mean, so far we've learned I'm artistically challenged.
We could say that.
Artistically.
We could say that. It's been up and down, but I think you really you hammered it home in the end, and that's a strong finish is all you can ask for,
Actually,
really.
yeah, I agree. It's
know?
not how you start, it's how you finish.
Exactly. I'm gonna go for the 5 count. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Show us what you've got.
All right, it's the teddy bear, Tacti-Bear.
The Tacti Bear, exactly.
Let's
Nailed it. I mean, a wonderful performance, and I got to be honest, I don't think there was a winner today. I think we're all winners here
Yes,
today.
I
Would
like
you
that.
agree? Thank you very much for joining us for Spray It, Don't Say It. After today, I'm not sure who's going to be able to follow up on these artistic works of wonder, but it's been a pleasure having you with us today. Thank you very much, Boaster and Crashies. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and best of luck in your future matches.
Thank you.
Love that from you. What an outro.
Welcome back, everybody. Guys, how are we feeling? If you were to do that challenge, how many points do you think you get out of 10? 0?
Well, no, if he's drawing all of them,
You're
because
good
I'm sure I can just look at this man and know he's brilliant. If I'm the one drawing 0,
No, but I'm good at
there is
guessing.
a reason that I'm married to someone who can draw. And it's because I cannot.
She's your better half.
Definitely. Not
Definitely.
even within question. But
I
yeah, I
trust-
cannot draw.
I trust that we can get at least 5 out of 6.
If you're drawing
Okay.
6 out of 6.
I have a solution for this. I have a solution. Ulises, I'm gonna write something here so I can also show it to
Oh,
the
no.
camera, and I'm gonna make you draw it. So Tom, look away.
Holy.
Let me write
do
it
you really
first.
trust me?
I have to cover my eyes because there's a camera showing you over there.
Do you trust me? Tom,
Okay.
do you
Look
trust
in.
me?
Who's saying
can
that?
I get a single on this? 1 second. Let me put some more light in here.
I like how I have our producer just saying, don't
Ooh.
look
Okay,
again and again
you've
and
seen
again.
It. Draw it.
Okay, how much time do I have?
I'm going to give you 1 entire minute, and Alberto's going to be counting on that. It's okay. Open. Tom, you can open your eyes. We have an amazing match ahead of us, and of course, you're going to have to do some introductions before Ulises finishes. So, on today's matchup, and based on the performances that we've seen this stage so far, who do you favor?
You're asking me if I favor Fnatic or my family.
Yes.
Obviously,
Some people, you'd be surprised with what some people might say.
No, I'll always back the Booze. Always. Also, I say Mini Boo is in probably the best form maybe we've ever seen him in. Obviously, the Champs run, he was also very impressive, but I think like he has been lights out the last few weeks. Kayak seems to think he can match it. I'm definitely excited to watch that, but no, I think just off form alone, I'd go Heretics, but both teams have been very, very good.
You got it? Okay, can I see it before? Yes, it's perfect. Show it to the camera first. Can we get a single on that one? Okay, Tom, what do you think that is?
Is that by any chance? Well, I'm guessing the person on the right that's not got the arrows is me, and then the other person is Mitch Man.
What do you mean? It's Sideshow.
Is it? Oh, okay.
It's an egg!
Either that or that's Weird Al Yankovic.
No, he gets it.
Yeah.
It was Mitch.
Is
It
it
was
correct.
Mitch.
Oh, so it's not Weird Al.
It's Mitch and
Okay.
and someone with him.
But you made
like
an amazing drawing. Like, of
It's
course,
a decent one.
easy.
It's a decent one.
It's good. It's good. I like it.
You can recognize properly.
I got it
Mitch.
immediately. So
I mean, I
yeah.
thinking
Out
on
of all
painting
the
an
things that
oldie.
you could
but
draw
it was
Mitch
perfect.
doing.
The only thing you could have added is if it had a tiny body and tiny legs.
I was thinking on
Then
it.
In
I think
fact,
it
I
would've
think
been
you can
perfect.
still do it. We're going to give you
Yeah.
the time to do it.
There you
It is
go.
lovely when the
yes.
vibes are
Couldn't agree
vibing.
more.
Completely realistic
Yeah.
size.
As I was saying, it is lovely when the vibes are vibing. We love having a good laugh and a good time here. You know who also enjoys doing that? Apparently, it's Team Heretics and Fnatic. So take a look at this.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Hawaii.
Hawaii who?
I'm good. How are you?
Enes. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Who?
Who?
You're an owl.
Okay, Weber. Knock knock.
Who's that?
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo who? Oh, well done.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
I think they will fake a lot with the drone. Smash me, smash my hand, bros. One more. Oh, give me the smash, also. Ah, shit, what is happening? Oh.
Absolutely lovely to see that is the level that we get on in the stage most of the days. But today, the stakes are a bit different. We know that getting that first seed is an immense advantage because it's going to be one of the teams one match away from securing that ticket to Toronto. But when we look at the historical head-to-head between these two teams, Ulises, there is one team that is pretty much favored and is actually the only one with a positive record against Fnatic in VCT EMEA.
I mean, it's true that the first match was won by Fnatic, but last time Heretics wasn't that good. I'm sorry, Padre. I know that I'm talking about your Heretics, but at that time it wasn't that good. But with this team, they never lost a single BO3. They only lost in a final. It was a BO5, but on BO3.
But it's
no,
Heretics in
They
finals,
never win finals, so that was a given.
yeah, even.
So thinking of today and how this can be different, Tom, you already told me that you see that Heretics is in very good shape. What do you think are the hurdles that Fnatic have to overcome to be victorious and change the narrative a little bit?
I think, firstly, like seeing Woot in more comfortable positions has definitely worked out wonderfully, but he still has a few roles here and there that maybe the KO didn't look as good, so maybe there's a few maps that you could take them to, but also I think when we do eventually get ourselves towards the veto, the thing that's actually really solid for Fnatic is a lot of the maps that want to be played by their opponents are maps that they really enjoy. So it's not like they're going to be forced into any discomfort throughout this series. So I don't actually think it's like a margin of what do they need to counter, what do they need to do. It's just like, I think both these teams are in great form. I think on the day either of them can win. I'm just very slightly going the way of Heretics because of what we've seen just the last couple of weeks where Fnatic have had like the Vitality game where they definitely could have lost if it wasn't for a huge clutch from Bosa which turned them around, or even having that very close game versus Apex where they almost lost, I think it was Split in like crazy OT. It's like they've had moments throughout the season where I'm like, ooh, that looks a little bit shaky, and I think Heretics might be the team to punish them on that.
Yeah, but when we think about Fnatic also, when we think about historically and the results that they've had in the stage group, this is a team that gains a lot of momentum, and when they start, they cannot stop, Ulises.
It's hard to stop them. I mean, if we remember every single group stage they had, they won every single one of them. There is only one time they didn't do it. It was on a stage 1. It was the worst moment from Fnatic, and they lost 3 matches. One of them was against Heretics. But if we take a look on it, it's hard to think that they're losing in group stage. Maybe in playoff, but on group stage, it's Fnatic.
Well, you say that. The last 2, excluding the kickoff tournaments, they were the champion of EMEA both times. So even if on an international stage things have been a little bit more rough for them, they have still been the kings of EMEA when it came to last year, even though it wasn't as good as the year before. And coming in here, okay, sure, they lost the kickoff again, but always a tougher format, and that's where they're working things out. They've swapped coaching staff, and it's looked a lot better. And if we come to the end of the next few weeks and they're the champion again, I don't think there'll be many people at this point, they'll be surprised.
Yeah, and probably one of the reasons that we're seeing Fnatic in such good form, we're seeing them getting too many wins together. Of course, one of these two teams is going to end up with one loss. Is this man behind me? You saw him drawing a couple of minutes ago, but actually throughout this entire stage, he's been having amazing performances. Right now, he's first in clutch percentage, something that we have seen in the past, but it's so good to see that this is the kind of boaster that can take Fnatic to those global events and to have deeper runs and be top of EMEA resist.
And also the clutch minister is back. You were saying that we are used to it. It's true. Right now he's having a 37%. It's amazing. But we can remember that he also used to have a really good one in 2023, around 45% when he was playing on that time. And yeah, for sure, I think it's one of his best prime forms. I mean, it's not only that he's killing, his decision making is being the same one, and also he's killing. He seems to be having much more aim than maybe 2024 and even 2023. All the stats are with him.
I'll say as well, especially when you look at maps like Haven and Lotus, his calling has been almost impeccable. Like, I think you go back to that attack side calling on Haven versus Vitality, and it's some of the best calling I think we've ever seen. Like, he was playing like double fakes, like finding ridiculous amount of space, and just being able to pull the team through. But I also think that comes down to what we were talking about earlier, like having those positive vibes, having people like Crashies who constantly like bringing up the squad. Your job as an IGL becomes a lot easier when you're not having to micromanage an individual and you can just focus on, okay, we need to win these rounds. Because I think that's what half of the job is when you are that IGL, is like we saw earlier from Nats, it was getting the individuals back in check. Well, for Fnatic, he hasn't needed to do that, so he can just focus
I want to hear Boaster's speech. You know, like I want to see what he would say in that kind of situation.
I think we have seen it. It's mostly memes.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like I want to see a more serious one. I think that to me also something that is very important about Boaster in particular is that we have seen people succeed in the past, and many people have created names for themselves. But keeping this kind of performance for such a long time in a region that is very competitive, and also doing it from a standpoint of being a very happy person, but if you're a very happy person, you're most likely an emotional person, so it goes both ways. Like the highs are going to be high and the lows are going to be lows. But Ulises, you were saying that this is probably one of his best performances, one of his primes. Do you think this is the primest prime that we've seen from him? Or is this the one that can bring them back, you know, to being ahead of the curve and being top of the world?
It's hard to decide, because if we think that it's the best one right now, if we check the stats, maybe 2023 was a bit better. But it's not true, because on 2023, they won 9 out of matches, every single one of them. I mean, if you're never losing, probably it's easiest that you are having better statistics. But if we check the decision-making that he's doing right now, every single call that he's making, Tom already pinpointed. And it's not only the call-out, it's also that he is brilliant individually right now. And he's clutching again, not like 2024 that maybe he was dipping apart. Right now, I think it's his prime. I think it's his best form.
I think also, when you look back to 2023, his individual level wasn't as important. Like, you had arguably 4 of the best players in the world at the time. I think we've seen, like, Alfie has been very good. I don't think he's, like, near where he was in 2023. I think that guy was maybe even the best player in the world at the time. And so I think that, and obviously Durka leaving, even though Kayak's been fantastic, that Durka level is maybe unmatched in EMEA when you go back even to last year. So I think him having good individual performances has been important, but he has, and that's been the main thing. Is like, I think his impact right now may be more, but obviously until you get to international events, we don't care.
Exactly, we do not care. Someone that definitely cares what form Boaster is going to be on, and someone that you've already mentioned, is Wood and Miniboo. I think that before we see this head-to-head and just focusing more on this side of Heretics, you're speaking about a Wood that is comfortable, and you know, we could say the same for Miniboo. And after their win versus Vitality last week, Wood and Benji had some spicy words about Fnatic's Haven. Take a look at this.
Because our double duelists are better.
Your double duelist is better?
Yeah.
Is your ISO better than Alpha's?
Yeah.
All right, Benji?
I think in the past, for example, if we take it all the way back to Shanghai, we stole 100 Thieves' bind comp, and we made it better than them.
And we won against them.
And we won against them. If I'm not wrong, Fnatic made or at least made the comp popular, so we've stolen it and we've made it better. So
of the fact that Benji's a bit cautious, being like, well, they made it popular, because I don't know if they were like actually the first one to run it. But to be honest with that, we were kind of going with that same storyline. Oh, they're going up against Vitality, who was also running the same composition, and then they changed it on the day. Maybe even Vitality was convinced that Team Heretics was going to do it better. And on the other side, we see Kayak going up against this potential two duelists, saying that he's better than Minibu for sure. He will show him in 1 week. Obviously, this was last week. Do you think he's going to have enough, Tom, for Woods and Minibu?
It's going to be difficult. The thing is, I love this sort of stuff. Like, you need to be cocky if you're going to be a duelist player. If you're like a super passive, chill kind of guy, maybe pick a different role, because you need to be aggro.
Sentinel.
You need to be
Smokes.
in your face. Yeah, exactly. Or maybe coach. But like, I think these sort of players, you're going to go in thinking you're the best in the world. And you know what? Kayak has already had the doubt of, oh, you have to replace Dirk. You're never going to be as good. Oh, we didn't make kickoff, blah, blah, blah. And then over the last few weeks, he has been filling that role. He's had those standout performances. He's been individually fantastic. So if anybody's going to go toe-to-toe with Minibu, it is this guy. And we know that sometimes Minibu does have quieter performances. He does get shut down. And when you're up against a Fnatic where everybody, even Boaster, is doing well individually, it might be a tougher time. And that might leave more openers for someone like Kayak.
Let's see, it steals Minibu. I mean, I talk about Minibu on week 4, and I can repeat the same message. He's winning to every single one. He's making a difference against every single one but 3 players right now. It was Molsey, the second one it was Cloud, and the third one that come into the list, I don't remember who was the third one, but anyways, only 3 players got to diff him. So you're talking about one of the most different duelists right now, and probably the best statistics around the world on the duelist role on VCTs.
Yeah.
And
it's hard to deal against it.
Yeah, and I think we also need to put into perspective, Tom, you were mentioning the difference between the Kayak and the kickoff and how he's evolving to now. We can say the same about Minibu. He did not have a good start of the year, and then when they went back into thinking about the Neon and implementing her in their compositions, we saw the kind of heretics that is way scarier. We were speaking about Boaster. Do we think that Boo is also on his prime releases? Because, you know, he's going to have to step up today.
It's true that he has to step up, and I'm thinking if he's on his prime, and I think so. I mean, he's doing... we've seen that last year, if we talk about Heretics, they were gifted, they were playing around individual skills, and also bringing some micro-macro into it. But this year, they improve a lot. They're playing much more like a team. And that makes sense that Boo is also one of the minds that is behind it and must be working on it.
To me, I think when Abyss is not in the map pool, I don't know if he can be as in his prime, because for me, that's the Boo map, just like sitting there like an absolute rat, just making sure people can't defuse the spike. That for me is prime Boo, but I think that's the fun thing about this series. I think we have 2 very calculated, clever IGLs, and that could be the difference maker. Like, you have these individual superstars, but at the end of the day, we talk about what the best of Fnatic was so far this season. It was the calling.
Well, it is time, right? It is the final fight for Seed 1 in Group Alpha. Fnatic and Heretics might bring the good vibes, the meme, and the laughter, but when it comes to the server, both of these teams know exactly what's at stake. Let's send it down to the stage for the last match of the regular season.
Check my pedigree, I got legacy in my pop. You playing hopscotch, I'm at top notch on the block. Slippin' slide like me, nah. Spice it up with the sauce. Yeah, my Lord said don't do it, I said bop, bop, bop. Yeah, my Lord said don't do it, I said bop.
one of these two teams will close out the day one win away from securing Masters Toronto. Will it be Los Niños going back to that 2024 form that we saw, or will it be Fnatic revitalized and actually going back to 2023? Map veto is up. Tom, please walk me through this.
Well, I think immediately just seeing that Pearl out, not really too much of a surprise. But the main surprise for me is that Haven pick. It's something that Heretics are obviously very confident on, but I always thought that was a shoo-in for the third map, especially with Icebox being something we haven't seen much from Fnatic. I would have flipped those two, and that's where I expected the veto to go. Instead, you could argue Fnatic come in with their two best maps in the pool right now to kick off the series. So it just shows how confident Heretics are that they can beat them potentially with the exact same composition.
Yeah, exactly. One of the things that is not mentioned in this graphic is that Team Heretics was the one who won the coin toss, so they decided to be Team B, putting Fnatic in the predicament that they have to be the ones banning Pearl, because Team Heretics has also banned it in the past. If it's not the Pearl, it's the Fracture, so it's a good advantage for them. And they decide to go for the ban of Split, which every single time that Split has been open, Ulises, Fnatic has decided to pick it.
Yeah, obviously they went into a map that they feel comfortable. And for me, seeing the beater right now, I think we can have even one of the biggest toms or one of the biggest matches. Because we are going to have Lotus, Haven, and Icebox, 3 maps to fight over with 2 teams that are probably the best ones from EMEA right now. Or they prove to be among the best.
Yeah, I think for the going into that first map, especially talking about Lotus, you know that a solid attack side is going to be coming from Fnatic. I think they are the best team probably ever when you look at the history of this map at playing with those rotations, constantly switching back and forth on the attack side, finding gaps in your defense. And then the opposing side have been running that sort of Neon Teo. Neo, there you go.
Neo.
Accidentally combined it. Mitch has done that before. And it allows for such levels of aggression that potentially you could see that taken away. I also want to point on Rienz as well. If he's going to be playing that Breach, I think he's someone that somehow is still underrated, an insane individual skill player. But on this map in particular, how he's going to be able to set up those aggressive plays is going to be integral. And as said, Fnatic are very happy to sit back and wait. They will, however, be starting on that attack side, and that means that we're going to see that pacey Mini-Boo diving into sites and putting pressure on the likes of Althea, who's going to look to lock down C.
And I would like to know if Fnatic is going to be able to be fighting for Rubble. They normally like to do it, but you have a Neon plus Breach stuns, and also the utility from Tejo is hard to deal with Heretics compo, and they will have strong time to figure out where they're attacking when they cannot have control of any of the pre-sides.
Yeah, and thinking about the reps, right? Fnatic, they're experts in this composition. They've run it a lot of times. And this year, they're completely undefeated. On the side of Team Heretics, I would be concerned that they only have that one rep against Giant X with this composition. Or maybe do you think, Tom, that it gives them an edge because they haven't shown everything that they possibly have?
I don't think that Fnatic are going to be blown away with the surprise of this composition, but I do think that especially the Killjoy can be a little bit more difficult to run when you have a tail on the other side. Your delay and your setup can be obliterated if those salvos are put into good positions.
Okay, guys, let's wait no longer. I don't know about you, but besides a feeling 22, I missed Pampok, so I'm just going to toss it over to them again to see if maybe they want to cast this match again as well, sorry.
Nah, don't worry about it. We are genuinely very on for this one. We are very excited for this. Fnatic up against Heretics. It is the best of the best, right? We've had the best of EMEA through, 2023 up against now the 2024 team that kind of took the crown from them. We've got both undefeated sides, both vying for that one game away from getting into Toronto. That's what it is. There's so much on the line between these two, both in great form currently. After what was really a bit of an underwhelming start to the year, both have recovered.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I wouldn't even say this is almost redemption, but this is kind of return to expectations. When you look at both of these rosters coming in, I mean, early on, there were questions around Crashes and whether or not he'd be able to find his footing. True. I think that question's been answered massively on the side of Fnatic. And even you think back to, what Althea was saying in one of the interviews, I'm seeing movement and some question marks on the player count, so I'll keep talking for the time being. But Althea talking about everybody being, they're having fun, they're feeling confident, and I think that's a byproduct of why we see a clean record on Fnatic's side.
I mean, it's been marvelous seeing them put all the pieces together for the Fnatic side, and of course for Heretics as well. Similar things, watching them bounce back. It's hard to be a deep run team these days, it feels like. I mean, you only have to look as far to EDG, for example. Very hard at times to maintain consistency. Wound. It is a little fresh. But it's true, right? It is very hard to maintain that level of dominance. I think a lot of teams have suffered that, you know, the Champions Curse, for example, being out there. But obviously, we're going to have a little bit of a remake here. We do have a monitor issue, I believe. So we will get that restarted for you guys. Hopefully it won't take too long. Again, apologies for this. We're just going to get everything right here.
Well, with new equipment in,
yes,
I guess it's better to happen now, the start of the series, before getting a map underway. But
the hate watchers are eating so good right now.
Oh yeah.
There's Reddit threads
I don't even want to refresh the VLR tab right now.
No. They're eating today. But as I said, let's get it all started now. Again, a lot of the kind of additional time we've been taking to getting into these games, in between the games and what have you, it has been to get the players comfortable with the new setup, get everything right. We are trying everything we can to ensure this goes smoothly. We don't want those stop and starts. So sadly, yes, it has happened at the beginning here, but fortunately this should be a quick fix, I want to say, just because it is a monitor issue. I do hope at worst it'll be a change out, but that's not been said yet. So fingers crossed we get back in nice and quickly. We have had an update just now. We've got about 3 minutes, hopefully. If all goes to plan, we're about 3 minutes away from jumping back in. So again, thank you. Thank you for bearing with us.
That's a tiny tech pause.
So far.
Yeah.
So far.
But I do want to come back as well to the composition discussion, because I think Tom's kind of hitting on some key points here in terms of the comparison. Alfia's role is kind of difficult, and it's not even to say that it's about the approach for Heretics, but just by nature, right? The anchor becomes very vulnerable when you have both initiators to set up Miniboo playing the way he is. He can get ahead of util. It's not as if, you know, they get bogged down in choke points. They have so much util to clear space for him to move into, and that's where Miniboo has really thrived.
Yeah, bang on. Again, you could look through all of this, right? You've got the Boo against Boaster, Mini Boo against Kayak. There's so many comparisons to look at with these two. And again, both of them being the kind of paragons of EMEA's excellence throughout the various years here. So it's quite nice to actually see them finally go head-to-head in this scenario, both on that rebuild phase, both finding their footing throughout this. And if I'm not mistaken, again, keep in mind, I don't have my normal notepads, they're still in Berlin somewhere, but I'm pretty sure both of them only ever lost on Split and Ascent, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So wildly similar throughout, like actually terrifyingly similar. It looks like the issue has been resolved. We're just gonna be restarting the lobby just to keep you guys up to speed. So again, shouldn't take too long, and we should be back nice and quick.
Yeah, I think the only other outlier, I guess, from this year would be the loss versus Liquid for Heretics on Lotus. Sorry, obviously back in the lower finals, but. Again, same composition. You could call that a kind of a blip in the radar, but that was with the previous composition from Heretics, which was the Astra and the Fade, I believe.
Brother, my mind doesn't go that far back these days. It's real somewhere. Someone somewhere.
Yeah, somebody will be correcting that if it's incorrect. But obviously, another point that Tom made as well. It's possible to shut down Miniboo, and versus Giant X, I guess in week 2 was I wouldn't even say the one example of him being shut down, but certainly not having as much freedom, and it certainly wasn't reflected the same in terms of, by the numbers, Miniboo's performance.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
which is weird to say that it was Giant X on the other side of that equation.
Isn't it? It certainly does make you put a little question mark by it. Just waiting to see if these issues are resolved. Seeing someone rejoining the lobby now. Again, trying to be as transparent with you guys as possible. Obviously, it's not what we were after, but I do see players starting to sit up, so things should be looking good. We've got players coming back into the lobby, so it should start nice and quickly again. Obviously, not how I wanted this one to begin, but feels like it almost had to have one. Get it out of the way, and then we'll be underway. But how are we feeling about the veto, though, Mike? Anything standing out to you here? Are you happy enough seeing it go down this way?
Yeah, I don't think any surprises. Like I said, other than the loss to Liquid, both teams very well versed on Lotus, especially with obviously Heretics finding their groove across the map pool with the neon kind of showing here and there. I think this is probably Well, probably the best showing we've seen from Heretics, certainly adopting this. Again, the breach Teho, it's not traditional, but it's to reinforce that front line. It's to put Miniboo into positions quickly, particularly on the attacking side, obviously, to get ahead of Util, get into the back lines, and completely open up rounds single-handedly.
Yeah, and again, another little update. We're just going through the ready checks now, so that should only take a moment, and then we'll be resuming shortly. So once again, thank you for your patience, and hopefully everything from this point onwards will be running smoothly. So, I'm with you on all of the points, though, Michael. I can't say I disagree at all.
Even to come back to that, I just looked at it, versus Giant X, it was the 13-8, and even so, Miniboo still went even in open duels. It was 6 first kills, 6 first deaths. So even if he's going to get into that position and you still find the trade, he's done his job. It's not as if, I'm talking about the other maps where Miniboo's almost gone, kind of double positive and absolutely farmed the enemy team.
Absolutely.
Even if the plan B is for him to get in, get his one, and then fall. I mean, the second layers being Rians and Wu, they have looked fantastic this stage.
They certainly have, and something else that looked fantastic is getting back into game. So thank you for bearing with us. We are ready to go. So jumping in, if you are just joining us, Heretics will be on the attacking side here, and Fnatic on the defense. Again, the parallels between these two feels like you could go on for hours, but we have to see the proof in the pudding once we are in on the server. Looking at this, do see the Sheriff out for Alpha and Kron, actually. So both of those going to be adopting that on the other side. Ghost with just that reinforcement of the light shields with the classics.
You're getting underway now.
Not ready yet.
We'll see little play out actually from C from Fnatic. So they're not going to be anybody on the other side to greet things. Woot was on technically on the other side, but now anticipating a flank coming through.
So aware from Woot, really heads up, time to tuck back into the pack. And that should be very informative though, but it looks like they're trying to pivot themselves through towards B.
Which there is a little bit of a gap, but potential here for a pinch if that's the end goal. They're very cautious in approach here. Obviously, Wall will go up on the flank. Spike not committed just yet. It's in a bit of an awkward position with Boo here. So he's got a wide open cross now, down to 32 HP.
Yeah, he's in a bit of trouble, calling back Rienz potentially to try and assist here. Now, it looks like Fnatic don't want to continue down that path completely. You still have Alpha semi nearby, but you're going to see Chronicle rejoin towards that B site and maybe work their way back through. But a bit of a standoff, really, of who moves first. And, of course, Heretics will have to eventually get towards that A site. Benji trying to lock down towards that mini room. Boast has already cleared him. That's the, well, I mean, the wall was already triggered, but that's all that post-plant utility potentially removed. Any of that pressure he could have had. They're really cornered in on this site, Mike.
Yeah, and full control of the flank as well, with Alpha kind of hanging around here. You see the pings coming through towards Woot's position. He almost has to find something. He actually caught in the seas, but able to duck away to the bottom of rope.
That's lovely. That's lovely. Trying to face this smoke together. Oh! Rienz more than faces it. Finds Chronicle inside it. Do they still expect Kayak? We're going to need some pressure to come in through Tree or through CT. Something to turn the eyes away here because Heretics are pretty happy. They're not feeling pressured. Finally, the punch has come back in, but Rienz is on a tear here. He might be the one to have to stand and deliver all by himself, but the time has gone. And I think Crashies knows that. Beautiful attempt, but just too late.
It almost felt like Fnatic was sitting back waiting for somebody to get aggressive on the side of Heretics, but with a blind kill into smoke from Rienz, that kind of just completely stops them in their tracks. Have to see whether or not they were, actually in the replay if we caught any of that, but whether or not they were waiting on a cooldown or something. You see then the next step being Kayak's kind of just left to wait for something to happen, but it never ends up coming through. I mean, Riot's done fantastically well.
Okay, the right click did
the answer's there from Crashies, but like we said, the time almost deciding that one for them. The Heretics on the board first.
Again, for me, if Rienz gets a bit of a heater going, then I'm on board a little bit more, right? Because I know that Miniboo can deliver. I know that we've got Wu up there. I know that we've got like Benji being a bit more clutch these days. But if Rienz starts activating, getting that like good game started, that's a scary Heretics. Right, that is a very scary concept. Now, in this sort of round, you're looking at what Fnatic are bringing in. It's not a great deal. Getting a good lay of the land, though, would be valuable. Understand what's going to be coming their way, get a bit of a grip on it, and maybe try and get a couple of kills. Make it costly if they can. Again, at this point, Miniboo's got to be cautious. There's a lot of pressure in here. This seems a little bit untoward.
Oh, Arians found him. With the aftershock.
Okay, that's probably not how they wanted this to go, Mike, and I get worried here. I don't think you can make those mistakes against this Fnatic.
Whether or not the weapon being passed across is going to make a difference, but Crashy's down to 49 HP, was tagged up in that exchange. Still tagged up, but yeah, it's Woot to wrap tree and find the kill regardless. Looking for no more deaths ideally here, and yet Rienz and Benji
better
finding 2 kills. Now just Chronicle left.
Yeah, felt like they got a bit serious towards the end then. Kind of sending in Miniboo, hey, make a play, make something happen, sure. That felt a bit too far, especially with the weapon he's coming in with. Maybe not the ideal choice. I mean, he's still got 1 and he died to Rienz. If anything, it's not technically his fault, but felt a little bit wild. But hey, it's still Heretics. They found that stability in the end. They're going to walk away with 4 standing, and Chronicle only gets out with that Marshall.
May find. Yeah. This obviously is a lesser purchase from Heretics here. Still going to get away. I mean, the priority being the Bulldog and the Guardian.
Yeah.
Chronicle's just going to give it up to Spike now. So 2 on the board for Heretics. Again, you can see here respect shown at the start. They're kind of anticipating Fnatic maybe setting something in motion. Again, like I said, I mean, the fail-safe being, right? Put Miniboo in a spot as long as he's traded. But I mean, he's got his.
I guess he was traded.
Rienz is the one to trade it, but just ult economy. It's just controlling the ult.
Well, welcome to Fnatic. There's going to be Odins. There's going to be the Viper. It's going to be rough. Now, if you're Heretics, you've got to be aware of this. I want to see if that Guardian's maybe put to practice towards that, if there's something they have in mind of dissuading this positioning. We've seen that they can be a little bit versatile with be it Chronicle here or Boaster here. But I do want to see how well this gets dealt with and how far that gets checked, if I'm honest, Mike, because you can't let them stick towards this. It is so oppressive.
You've got to show respect to it. A little bit of utility invested here. Kai's going to allow safe passage, but actually finds Miniboo.
Hey, that's the tip of the spear gone, and Miniboo's been good for it. Normally, he'll get you a 1 at least, but Woot hindered on the way across so far. Trying to slip ahead. He's made it towards this, and he's got the spike. So if he gets a little too lost in this, ooh, that could be an issue. Now, Boaster going to be challenged, is running low on bullets, down to about 8, so has to back away, pop the smoke up, get the reload, and hopefully buy a pause here, because Woot would love to just dip back to the pack, get away from this. It's a little bit too much on the plate for him. Maybe looking at other options now.
Really weird pause, but Heretic have actually found themselves a little bit of space to work with now. B site wide open for the taking. Yes, from the previous series as well, we're asking the same question, testing the B site retake. Satchel will break. Oh, I actually thought it broke the plant, but it didn't.
No, still got that one through. So time on the side. 2 noted on the drone as well here. Woot still expecting maybe a swing or some pressure coming in from that top side, but eyes back towards that seaside connector. Timing on that. Ooh, he's playing it really close.
Awkward.
But he's got a corner to play into. Nice from him. Boaster could spam that out for all he likes, but Woot somehow dodging it like Neo. Only down to 66, still standing, still breathing, and down to this 4v4. Rienz starts to get the pressure going, and now they have to start pressuring back. They have to get away in, and they've got nothing here. Chronicle's got nothing to do but back away and save.
Whether or not that's going to be the setup for B-side going forwards. So typically, Fnatic able to coordinate very effectively in terms of retaking B, but not this time around. 3 on the board now. What to say? I'm curious actually. Again, eyes go towards the replay. I mean, Woot has just no respect at all towards Fnatic here with the Guardian as well, getting super aggressive. It's Rienz to set things in motion once again with the fault line also. That second push back towards CT.
They moneyed them, bro. Guys.
Did they molly themselves?
I was going to say, I wanted to know where, actually, yeah.
Yeah, because it felt like Fnatic were incredibly slow at starting that retake. it felt like the tempo was completely off, so maybe there was something that hindered the progress, but you can see the impact it's already had. Heretics get to convert, bonus going forward. They're on 3 and 0. They're going to start building up those ults. You heard Rien's invest his, sure, but hey, if that's your failsafe, if that's your make sure we get this one, hey, screw it. You know what I mean? That's fine. But at this point now, it's Chronicle with just that hero rifle, and that's all they got.
Yeah, I'm with you. The investment comes through, and if it's around that forces Fnatic back down to a lesser purchase, you can't question it, really. Sheriffs to complement Chronicle's rifle. Benji and Boo both find kills now.
Both sides of the map as well. C side now down, and one close on the other side. It is a boaster smoke. Kayak tries to find a little bit of a corner to play from, get a bit cheeky, pushing up, and it's just been caught. Heretics' default. Really good awareness. I like this again. If you're looking at Heretics, they're crossing the T's, dotting the I's. They are doing what is necessary, right? They've held this kind of more passive, patient default, about 30 seconds. They do need to start building towards the C side. Hard to get past this Viper, though, and Kron is the one with the rifle, 25 seconds. You might be considering that look towards B, but it's the unknown. Mike, they're running this late.
They are, but the flash actually forcing Chronicle off the angle. Can't shut down Miniboo on the way in. The smoke will seal off the site for the time being. Miniboo finds it, Benji to follow up, and it's an in-zone flawless here. But Heretics fourth. Again, kind of calling it a weird pause in between in the previous round, but here it's very tempered, considered. Yes. Fnatic have kind of a ratty setup. I guess is the second wave, but like you said, with both kills coming out on opposite sides of the map, it gives Heretics so many options.
One enemy remaining. Flawless.
Unfortunately, Chronicle can't get much done there with the rifle.
I will find you, Omen.
Ultimates, I guess, well, on the brink of ultimates for Fnatic.
Oh, look at the pace here. Look at this. Right off the rip, Miniboo in, taking space. Does get put down to 25 HP though, so yes, he's in the back lines, but he's fragile here. Root's been denied over towards A, so they're losing out on presence, but this pathing from Miniboo is curious. Rather than sitting safe on CT or backing away, he might have the flank of the century.
They're not expecting this at all.
They have no idea about this. Does he pull the trigger on the first? He does. Spots out 2 more. He doesn't need to do too much. He's got teammates to bank on, and they're there for him. Heretics finding the smallest of margins to operate from. Rien's up against Alpha. Beautiful from Alpha and Kron on the site, but bloody hell, that almost flipped around. Credit to Fnatic, credit to Chronicle and Alpha in the end for doing the damage back, but that felt like he was on a knife's edge there. Heretics with Miniboo's heroics nearly undoing all that damage early on.
Well, it's this sort of scenario, right? Doesn't find a kill, but he's so slippery immediately up into heaven, and he's backstabbing the A site setup. I mean, it's the timing's fantastic. You almost, in that situation, leave Boaster and go for he's inside his smokes, right? Leave Boaster, go for a second kill, but maybe a little greedy in the moment. But it's Chronicle's 3K on the way back in that swings it for Fnatic.
And it was slick from Kron too. That looked real nice. If he's got a bit more of that, it's game on. A little bit of a high-low setup, it looked like for a second. Over towards that box on A. The downfall of Sugetsu. But at this point, could be rewarded. Kayak has support here. That smoke will occlude some of the vision, but he still has at least one by his side. Now spotted, has to get out of there, and they fall back slightly.
Shadows traveling.
No harm, no foul initially, at least. Poster down to 85, but still comfortable in terms of the damage. Unfortunately, Heretics got their sights set towards the position of actually both Alpha and Chronicle. Only one actually got a little high-low set up here, and it delivers.
Yeah, that's gorgeous. Alpha the only one remaining alive, but that's fine. Job done. Spike spotted. Effective trading in, leaving them just with 2. Yeah, Benji's got ult, Boo one away, but I mean, the biggest part is really the paranoia, but the off angle just so much better. Alpha closing it out with 4 in the end. That little high-low setup, Mike, was the be-all and end-all that round. Fnatic kicking it up a gear now.
Yeah, and it's ballsy as well to commit to that, but both kills initially going their way. Seemingly on the back of nothing. I mean, I believe there was a molly below where they were positioned. Yeah, you can see here on the replay. It just so happens, even when the trade comes through, Alpha delivers even further.
Kron, what is this do, bro? What? They can't do anything to us, bro. What is...
Yeah, rightfully so. Yeah, can't do anything to them. Like I said, it's on the X-ray there when you see they're drifting towards the side, but effectively both stall agents. But pace change here, Lauren.
Yeah, instant tail ult gonna come through, but you can see the answer coming back in. Straight away, the fade ult layered on top as well from Crash. He's kind of sending it back, slowing down the pace here. The tempo now denied. Miniboo couldn't take what he wanted there. He couldn't build up from that.
Stopped in their tracks, but an exchange of ultimates at least. Well, Miniboo's actually going to get a second shot at this.
Trying to play him in. Drone's gone in. Oh, you can see what they were trying to do. He does actually catch Chronicle, but there's still Kayak standing. Can't get past both of them, but Boo's broken through over towards Trees. The fight back kicks in by the door. Fnatic, brilliant priority on the fights here. Really well handled. You could see the tempo and the pressure from Heretics was sky high. Playing through that, it felt like it could have gone either way, but Miniboo being handled after that pick, I don't know how he even got Kron there.
It's on the back of just the one ultimate as well, meaning Fnatic maintain this ult cycle. Everybody except Crashies with theirs available. Again, situation here. Miniboo's got in, he's got the kill, but the space, they can't convert that pressure into space behind Rubble.
Nice, we got
Fnatic find the response here. I do see a timeout. I'm waiting to see.
They're all good, Heretics.
The music, music kicks in, then I feel a little better about it. Still one to the good in terms of the overall score, but maybe something that Neil's spotted that needs addressing. And all things considered here, it's a broken purchase with Benji down on the Guardian, but some ultimates to make something work.
And yeah, it feels like you can't get a fair fight against Fnatic. You know, as much as Heretics are trying to play in Miniboo very well. I mean, you look at the utility that was being put through towards that blue room, trying to get him played in. You can see the ults there. Everything that came in, he wasn't able to convert cleanly, right? The trade's coming right back through. Yeah, you got down, who was it? You managed to get Chronicle. Okay, Kayak gets the trade. You look over towards C in that previous round. Yeah, you got down Chronicle again, but Alpha's there and gets 4 instead. They are tightening up this spacing perfectly. They are making it very hard for Miniboo to have that freedom that we know he is lethal with. If he's given too much, he can absolutely run away with the game. Right now, not being given over at all, but plenty of ults to play with here, Mike. I'd love to see them start trying to utilize this here.
We've seen anything built around it, but pressure on the back of the paranoia. Force a rotation from Heretics, at least herd them away for the time being. Rian's collects the orb, one away from the Rolling Thunder now. That same set up towards C here behind Alpha and Kron. Difference being here, a lockdown and the pit. So if Heretics get in and find a plant here, unless they can convert it into some sort of pressure into CT, going to struggle here on the retake.
Certainly would. Stalled out. 50 seconds now. That C site just doesn't look all that available. Some of the utility cycling back up though here for Woot.
You can already see now, immediately Alpha slipped into the lockdown position. So I think Heretics are maybe going to explore back towards Rubble. Both are still patrolling, just jump spotting. TP will come through. On the other side of things, actually it's Boot deep now behind enemy lines.
And Bo's trying to get a bit cheeky here, trying to play off the wall, going to catch one, punishes Woot on the cross through towards Tree, but they still have site control. Crash is nearby with the C still in hand. Plant's going to come in though. Nothing to deny that here. We've got a late lurk as well from Benji coming into play, but that's a while off yet. So these three on the site, Mike, have their work cut out. They've got a lot to handle.
Actually, the Rolling Thunder is going to stall a little bit of time and actually force them deeper in towards the waiting hands of Benji. Finally pins it down. Crashies will fall.
Yeah, that got dicey. Miniboo, though, trying to get involved here and gets denied. He's actually got Bolster in that. I didn't... Okay, baffling to me, but fair play. 3v3 now, and they've got problems on the back line, so they try and fight forward. Benji goes down, removes that pressure. Now, time is of the essence. Time to go, Riens. How much can you do?
What?
I mean, where are you meant to go here? It's a gamble.
He's going to get detained.
He can't do anything about it, and the knife's on the way. Chronicle.
The time's already passed, though. I thought he was going to go for the knife. Bloody hell.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Just a moment too late there. I think maybe actually on my part, I thought there was another maybe 3 to 5 seconds when the lockdown's invested, but you see that's why he gives it up, gets detained and kind of draws him out.
Yeah.
But again, a very fine margin for Heretics to actually win out here.
Last player standing. Successful. One enemy remains.
That's why we see, I mean, Kayak kind of swinging onto that. He's got no more time to wait. Needs to get onto the half defuse as soon as possible. And you can even hear Benji there just kind of crediting the Rolling Thunder, the ult onto Heaven to force him a little deeper. Wasn't as clean as you'd like, but still got the job done.
Kill's a kill, right? Kill's a kill at this point.
That's what I say.
It's a classic. it's the Hypop special. Similar scenes here, similar starts. Only one player towards that blue room so far, though, so waiting to see if that becomes exploited or even identified. Kayak taking a lot of space over towards Mound as well. Deeper line adopted now with this operator, but you can see the unorthodox angle Benji's trying to play with. Maybe aware of this, maybe considering that this could be in play. Waiting to see who blinks first.
That's the thing with Fnatic, they're so comfortable being mobile on the defense. And another thing that's been credited is how well Boaster's calling right now. So his mid rounds are probably why we see Heretics so cautious in terms of the. Oh, that's not very cautious.
Oh, that feels awful. After all those compliments, he dies like that, but Kayak trying to hold on to the site here. Should take away Miniboo and slow this down, but he has to respect the ult that came in from Benji. So backs away safely, waits for support, and they'll have to play retake now.
Launching thorns.
A man to the good, call it 2 with Rian's down at 14 HP. Kayak still looking for something with the operator. Benji up close and personal will get punished. Now a 4v2.
Yeah, this gets tough. 10 seconds still for Wu to even have those salvos online. He kind of needs to play the site. Maybe a little bit unexpected here, but he couldn't convert onto the second, so only one to be had. Leaving Rienz with 14 HP and not much to say about the matter. No util to stall, no health to play around. A solid attempt here, but Crashies, a safer pair of hands. Keeping this scoreline nice and close now at 4-5.
And Alpha's... We'll see. Rifle conceded there. He'll be fairly comfortable. Have to see just how it does end up landing. Yeah, Boaster maybe just a complete misread on the timings or noting a few players because he goes for the TP. I guess to catch a rotation towards A. But Crashies wasn't necessarily under any pressure, so I'm curious as to how he's caught off guard there. You see the angle's given up by Kayak with the operator, so there's nothing to stop a dry swing onto him.
Kayak trying to path his way out of what felt like the floor turning into lava, but he does get to keep himself standing. Takes a bit of damage for it, but obviously you can see the buy on the other side for Heretics. As threatening as that felt initially, it is still just Sheriffs here.
Yeah. I'm feeling as if this one's going to be tipped towards Fnatic tying things up.
There.
It's around like this where Miniboo, love to see him have his ultimate, but Spam not connecting for Chronicle, and nothing noted from Crashies either, so it's going to be the, well, I was going to say confirmation on the back of the util potentially, but Crashies does spot a few players, so Chronicle's going to get overwhelmed.
Okay, it was a great target, great selection from Heretics to focus towards Chron, maybe trying to catch him in that like awkward second between util, but Crashies is still here. Good hold on the first, but he takes a lot of damage for it and decides, yeah, no, I don't like this scenario. I don't like what I'm seeing. I need a bit of support here, but Rienz and Woot still doing damage. Now, Rienz has got the upgrade. It may not be ideal, and it's certainly not going to work out. Alpha controls the site, sharp on the corner, and they handle all the pressure. Heretics, though, making something of that round, right? It wasn't a complete blowout. It wasn't feeling certainly too safe. They got pressured here.
I guess keeping the economy honest on the side of Fnatic. So finding the 3 kills on the back of just pistols invested. But like you said, great isolation on Chronicle. Unfortunate that Rienz can't get much else going with the Odin, but...
High five.
Things tied up now, 5 apiece. Only ultimate available for Heretics being Woots, but only a couple of orbs for Rienz. Miniboo once again straight up the guts here. Plenty of space to work with.
It looked like Alpha was hunting him. He was.
Oh, Woot's got a second!
Alpha! So deadly when he gets into the flow of things. But it's all on Rien's again. Heretics hitting those stumbling blocks, and Chrome with that slow crouch around the corner. They've taken the lead away here, Mike. It feels like Heretics have been, I don't want to say red, but Fnatic understand those win cons when they come against this sort of team, when they come against your mini boos, your Riens, how they're trying to approach it with Woot here, even just compositionally. It feels like they have a very solid footing in handling this.
Yeah, and that almost feels like one of those rounds that's almost strat roulette for Fnatic. They're able to crunch so quickly. After they know Miniblue's kind of slipped in onto B site, in the blink of an eye, there's 2 or 3 kills that favor Fnatic. And Crash is absolutely right there. Yeah, there's no answer to that second wave of pressure. If Minibu doesn't pin somebody down that first engagement, Fnatic absolutely nail the response.
And again, here we go, another attempt to set up Miniboo, to set him into motion here. And once again, someone falls, someone fails. It's Miniboo and Boo, both going down in the blink of an eye. Fnatic are so well equipped in this game. Heretics, it's rare to see them hit this sort of hard margin where they just can't seem to adjust through. This is brilliant to witness. Now they're going to invest the ult, so try and give them some pathing in. Give them a bit of safety to work with, maybe secure them the plant at the least.
Certainly doesn't feel comfortable though in a 3v5. 2 Guardians and a Stinger to make something from nothing here. Alpha giving the operator 20 HP on him, so expect him to play this one a little slower. Or not, Benji's going to be rewarded here. No. Identified immediately, the spam comes through, not connecting though. But the fault line in return could be interesting.
Nice try, but it's down on just the salvos. They've got so many bodies that they can put to this that I don't know what... I mean, it's a nice try for Woot, but there's nothing more to do, right? Just put the salvos on the spike and let's go next round, because 7-5, Fnatic, once they found that answer, once they identified their win cons, Mike, they have not dropped the ball. This has been a masterclass from Fnatic in response to Heretics. Start from them. Heretics took the initial lead and it was ripped away as Fnatic sit at 7-5.
My bad. I ran to the restroom really quick. Apologize.
Finally unmuted here, Mike. Really was going for making my point there, but is what it is. But no, 7-5. How do we feel about what we've seen so far? Because I feel like there was a real clear halfway point in that first half that completely changed the pace.
Sure, and not even necessarily I would usually credit towards the timeout, but I think we have to credit it towards Boaster's grasp on the game, right? There's a real turning point there where Heretics aren't rewarded on the front line. They're not rewarded for that initial engagement, and just the mid round looks absolutely flawless from Fnatic time and time again.
Second half though, new challenges presented here. Can Heretics find a way back through? Because I do feel like, as we said, as we highlighted, and as visually seen, that round 5 hit and then barely got to look back into the game. So patience as a start from Fnatic. No quick moves, no quick looks. Maybe trying to identify any of these little trap plays going on, or maybe get just a glimpse of a player to begin with.
Yeah, definitely cautious. Even the tap of the orb. We'll draw out smoke at least. You call it a little win for Fnatic here. At least a window of opportunity for them, but no real progress to write home about just yet.
It's oddly quiet, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the ping's coming through now indicating Fnatic's intentions.
Gotta go.
At least there, Miniboo will, even if he doesn't see it, will get the minimap confirmation on the back of that peak.
What a strange little round we're having here. The Paranoia to break through with the Tejo salvos. Heretics with a little bit of a set play in mind. Both tries to make a bold attempt, but Woot's having none of it. He flies in. Yeah, this has been, again, a masterclass from Heretics.
Yeah.
They were so ready for that, it felt like. It sat towards B. They kind of had the little setup in mind. The Paranoia, the salvos, it was all there.
And there's maybe Fnatic cautious to maybe sniff out a stack somewhere, or maybe a little proactivity, but Heretics very well positioned to deal with that pressure once it finally comes through. There's actually almost a stack of utility invested in here. Yeah, Boaster desperate to try and convert the Paranoia, but Woot's close enough to completely mitigate that risk.
Toxins going up.
At least bring it within one round now for Heretics.
Oh, the timing. Oh, hold on. Boo's gone down. Is that Bulldog? Which side of the door did that fall on? I guess in front at this point.
Yeah,
so
it should be in front, yeah.
That's a lovely little upgrade if they can get their hands on that.
There.
Wait, where did it go?
No, it was on the other side, I guess.
Yeah?
Yeah, there we are.
Well,
okay. So, got it nonetheless.
Yeah.
Crashy's happy with that.
I mean, it's lucky as well that they can't get there quicker. Miniboo obviously only on a pistol. You can see actually that's probably why Heretics almost over-rotate to respond to that opening pick. What can Crashies do with this rifle though?
2 seconds on the haunt, but he wants that corner. He wants to try and play to this. Clearing through blue room. Certainly indicative of this B pivot now coming in.
Yeah,
play.
ton of information though with that aftershock being invested.
Yeah, still got a little bit of kit here. Paranoia still in play too. Benji's got to respect this. Fnatic looking hungry, trying gap close on one of them. Any missteps, Heretics are in trouble, so they've got to be really careful about this. And again, Crashies is your danger man. He's got a lot of work in front of him, though, if they want to make something happen with this. Send the C's down towards the connector side, and they try and play together as a pack. Try and stay together, and it looks like they're going to try and frag out together as Crashies does take away Miniboo, and Benji's being held back. And Kayak going to set him up. Just trade me, trade me. He doesn't even need to trade. They've lost down the site, though. A good reaction from Heretics to try and fight this back. Halfway achieved. Crashies has done so well here. And I've got to say, Fnatic has done so well here. There's the horn, sat in the back pocket. It is just perfect. I am absolutely in love with what we're seeing here today.
I mean, the fact that they don't get the half forces the hand of Riens. Has to come through and try and push a little deeper. Again, a lucky spam actually outside the smoke that gets the 2 kills onto Fnatic, but Crashy's making that Bulldog work.
And it's just that everyone was playing around it too. It wasn't just, okay, cool, we've got a Bulldog, I'll sit back and play like post-plant. It's get proactive, just trade me, I'll fly in for you. Like everyone playing as a collective, running that is just marvelous to see. And again, to do it against a team like Heretics.
That I missed the guy, but thank God.
Yeah, thank God.
All good, all good. And they flipped the script around. Look at the state of Heretics now.
Well, actually going to get aggressive on the back of the fault line here, potentially. Double stuns come through. Miniboo, good for one, but can they control the spike now? No, Fnatic going to respond in kind.
Absolutely not. Even trying to get that Bulldog back is brutal. You know, slides away in the hands of Miniboo. Well, that's gone. I can't get it back here. And we kind of talked about, or even saw earlier on, Fnatic's very slow default in these scenarios where they're happy to take their time, cross off all the list of potentials, very patient. And again, if you're Heretics, I don't mind it. Go for it. Try and make something happen on a round like that. It's no skin off my nose. But obviously it will more than likely be 9 now for Fnatic, who've come into this very well prepared. I feel like we're seeing an elevated Fnatic here, pushed to get stronger and a little bit, you know, further up the, I'd say, preparation list by the likes of Heretics. You can't let Heretics have their way ever.
No, you're absolutely right. The boot other side of the world to what's going on here at A
30
site.
seconds left.
Only a sheriff in hand. I was even thinking about who fell on. I mean, it was Crashes that falls, so there's what, potentially a bulldog that's missing over towards spawn. Yeah. I'm not even going to go. Yeah, not even going to go for the rifle. So, and try his luck here with an exit with the sheriff at least. But Kayak and Alpha, yeah, potentially looking to get a little curious.
Wow. Come on, Boo. I'm down. If you wanna get a couple more like that.
Give us another. One more.
One más. NT. But hey, Fnatic 3 standing. Another round on the board. Heretics, I'm waiting for that other timeout to hit now. Like, maybe not in this round, I don't know, but you gotta get a grip on this game pretty soon.
I mean, this is going to be double digits. There, money's in the bin.
Ults are getting real close.
Yeah, close to the TP, but still halfway to. I mean, the real playmakers in terms of Minibu, Woot, and Rians and their ultimates. Really well handled from Fnatic.
Yeah, pick another, bro. Yeah, I'm taking Zip.
Alpha almost hoping he would peek another one. Kind of egging Boo on. A little bit of aggression on the side of Heretics here to try and control this early engagement towards Rubble. Showstopper invested though. Well, and Minibu, yeah, caught with his pants down.
That's how you deal with Minibu, I guess. Cleared within, you know, still above a minute 15, and Alpha's punished Boo at the same time. It feels like the stars are constantly aligning for Fnatic. Nothing seems to be going wrong, and Heretics can't seem to get anything on their side. And it feels so rare to see, because we've had this run so far in Stage 1 has been both of these sides near on untouchable. So seeing Heretics faltering and not having those nice reactions or good timeouts, those, you know, nice adaptations and adjustments, it feels quite of a stark contrast to how that regular player's kind of gone.
Obviously going to be a pretty rough decision to make here if they don't get a kill ahead of Fnatic potentially finding a plant. Those freestanding, it'll be Fnatic on double digits, like I said, the money in the bin effectively for Heretics. Benji not in a position to really stop this. The information will be there. Can you find a kill or two on the backstab? At least one.
Yeah, nice from Benji. Still very paranoid about that very long-term eventual flank that is coming in. Chronicle slowly but surely getting there. He's going to have to bank on the rest of the boys to find some impact. Yeah, Boaster going down does change things here. Bonk. Yeah. Okay, so they know there is a player behind them. Does this then spur them on towards the site? Because there will always be a little bit of caution shown from Kron, right? You can't just run in there, but Kayak ready to receive. And now Crashes is down low. It's not... Oh! Woot, you are an animal! What is going on with Woot right now? Crashes? 13? Not gonna happen. Woot's had a belter of a round. Give me that replay. Some of these shots, it looked ridiculous.
And snatching that away. It was a 5v3 for Fnatic.
Oof.
Great work from Heretics. Again, a player that's delivered time and time again in the form of Woot. And like I said, it makes it a little awkward because at some point there you're thinking, yeah, if Heretics don't find a kill ahead of the plant, I mean, what, somebody falls ahead of being able to establish some sort of formation in the retake, you got to think they're looking towards saving those rifles, so almost a huge bailout.
Oh, we've got a fast start here for Minibu with the salvos coming in. Yeah, looks like it. Trying to set him up again, but we saw, I mean, well, they don't have Kayak's ult this time, right? So,
yeah,
a little bit different in that regard.
Looking to maybe punish the TP of Boaster across towards Rubble here. Will Boo get oh.
Nah.
The sixth sense is tingling for Alpha.
My spidey senses. And he's not alone in this. He does at least have a player on the side trying to kind of maybe, you know, shoulder it with him. But if that door gets swung, Boo's in a bit of a bother.
I mean, Problem being, like, Crashies isn't there, Kayak's not there, so they don't really have any util to fish this out.
Yeah, you love that. You love that if you're Boo, right? You've taken a risk, and it's rewarded. Heretics need a couple of those to open up the door to this game again. Threading the needle. There's 3 players now. Try and make something out of nothing. We've got a plant probably on the cards. No one's actively playing from Waterfall. Moot's not investing the ult for that, but they're going to go for the fight towards CT. Opting to try and isolate one. They don't get what they want, so they dip back away.
There.
And now, yeah, the drone being used just a little bit deeper. They're checking on Fnatic here. They're not letting them get aggressive.
Well heard it here. Boast has found one, but traded out. It's just left on Kayak and Crashies now. A hope and a prayer inside the smoke. Mini boot to find another. It'll be Heretics up to 8 now, chipping away that financial advantage that Fnatic did have. Seeing Chronicle down at 450 and 300, obviously with the plant coming into effect. We'll see just how it lands. Yeah, you're right. Boo, rewarded massively here. Like I said, it is risky, but you've got to be so diligent with some of these clear. Well, if there's, like I said, if there's no Crashies and no Kayak, kind of that shift walk in and try and pin somebody down at the entrance of B main feels so uncomfortable.
Yeah, you're bang on. I mean, as you said, if it wasn't Crashies or Kayak, even if they did try and clear Boo, you still had Woot sat on the side,
yeah, it was a
right?
beautiful
It's like,
crossfire,
it's util or it's nothing. There's no other way about it. But Mini Boo, bye. What are we up to, Crashies? Just taking a walk, taking a little bit of a wander.
Hang on.
And Kayak taking heads. How has he gone Benji there? Mini Boo, fair enough. Benji, I guess, was just shouldering the corner, but now the plant's potentially open. And they've got some great upgrades. One away from Kayak's ult. This is huge. Alpha's already got his.
Concern being, Riens and Wu both have their ultimates. Both going to get invested here, and it's looking as if Kayak's going to fall.
Yeah, no escaping that one. No way out. Chronicle. Oh my word, it's awkward.
Weird.
Boo. Yeah, I had to chase that one down, but what are they meant to do here now? Rien's playing behind the smoke here, desperate to try and defend. Belter on towards Alpha, and now Boaster. Look, we complimented him in this clutch before, but I don't think he can do anything about this. Boo up on the ledge, making it near on impossible to even spam. Well handled by Heretics, and we're starting to see that like depth to them, right? We're seeing that shift of depth here. Heretics fumbled, they hit a brick wall. Now Fnatic are having those same feelings.
I mean, credit where credit's due. Fnatic springboard off that opener from Kayak. It was Heretics to win out by the end of that round. Oh, beautiful from Kayak to find. But yeah, Benji just looking to counter swing off it.
Yep.
I mean, at the point where you're thinking, yeah, the Rolling Thunder and Woot's Ultimate have only found the one, there's a chance that Fnatic can
guys, good job.
kind of re-establish themselves, but and the kill from Riens that almost seals Fnatic's fate.
Mate, Riens is having a heater of a game too. Like,
and a heater of a stage.
Yeah, look, there was room at the top, right? Leo not here, he's been eyeing it up. He's having a little look. He's pretty much filling those shoes. At the moment, sitting at 20-12, top of the board for both sides. Actually, closest nearby, what, 16 for Kayak, who's been doing very well himself, obviously. But timeout for Fnatic. The 3 in succession, enough of a worry, which is respectable. But the adjustments, I'm unsure of where we go from here. You know, what's the look that Fnatic brings out? Because it looks like Heretics have just got that ball-sided roll.
We saw Fnatic establish themselves in the first half. That's interesting. Yeah, Fnatic have the slowest attack side in the EMEA on Lotus at 74 seconds average to plant time. I mean, it is reflected in kind of that slow, the kind of pendulum swing default that's just looking for contact somewhere across the map. But
launching thorns.
I guess the slower rounds are sometimes actually a beautiful setup here. It's only one though. Kayak will find the trade, but damage done to him. He's down to 55, so you almost argue Mini Boo's over-delivered in that situation. But a beautiful setup though.
Yeah, it's like Mini Boo's just like the glass cannon, right? You just throw him in. He'll
See
get
what
you one.
sticks.
Yeah, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. But he normally does get his one, which is the scarier factor. And as you said, over-delivered with Kayak now down to 55. But it puts Boo in a predicament. He's going to have to try and deal with Fnatic's slow approach. It feels like death by 1,000 paper cuts at this point, doesn't it? Very slow and steady on the way in. Barely making it past rubble at this point. And we're at 48 seconds.
And Fnatic just edging closer and closer towards A site. I guess that stat kind of reflected in the way that we see Heretics play as well. They're happy to wait things out. They know Fnatic are just going to be drifting back and forth to try and single somebody out.
Face your fear!
That's a big indicator for Boo now. And no paranoia here. Only a smoke to really slow things down. Fnatic will find a plant. 12 seconds left on the clock, so... Absolutely due. Oh, Boo, though. Beheads Alpha, yeah.
See ya, Alpha. Even he's like, wait. How did this happen? So we're going to be down to the 4v3. Kayak playing a little bit further ahead. And he's going to go for it. Oh my god, that could have been huge.
Wow.
Oh,
look at the damage done, though.
HP. Yeah, C's on top. Crash, he's hungry for it now. Oh my god, he was thinking about it. The time ticking, they got to move forward. Finds one, looks for a second, gets it. Control is there for Crashies. 3 in the end, set in motion by the ult from Kayak. And Fnatic just get across the line.
And I think you see the moment there that Crashies gets the info. As soon as Kayak sees his damage after he falls, he's like, yeah, you don't need to challenge.
I have
and that was the opener there. Nothing for Chronicle to really do in that situation. So yeah, Crashies, beautiful adjustment. Actually, the paranoia coming through at the perfect time as well.
Toxins going up.
That will get Fnatic back on top, or I guess, well, argue back in control, but at least double digits on the board now.
Probably one of the best imports that we've seen. Gotta say it, Crashies, from what was a very shaky start. There was a lot of people putting question marks by his name. Could he ever even get close to the level of performance previous? You've got to say it, throughout this stage, he has been outstanding.
I think as well, it's one of those situations where you have to almost address the out of game as well. He's really come out of his shell in terms of his personality, and it's a lot more vocal. You can see he's smiling a lot more.
Happiness, what's that like?
Yeah, wow.
Wrong person to ask.
I was going to misspeak forever.
Well,
considering the paranoia on the side of Boo, but holding on to it for the time being. A huge hole in the defense here towards B site. The retake's going to be tested once more.
Yeah, he's going to have Kayak on his own for a moment here, though. Turns the flash. You just can't flash Zoomers like this, I swear to God. Oh my... I thought he had a follow-up there, but it's Boo and Mini Boo in quick concession. How? How did both of them just rack them up like that? Alpha...
Well, screw the retake.
Sorry,
the pre-take was absolutely perfect.
Alpha has been absolutely bullied by Boo like twice now. That one tap before, it's like he's playing against Scream, but only Boo against Alpha. That's the only time he's hitting those. It's ridiculous.
I'd love to see how this engagement actually pans out on B, though.
30 seconds.
I mean, yeah.
Ooh.
That's crispy from Boo.
Like, you expect it from Mini Boo, right? You're like, yeah, fair play.
That's the wrong Boo.
Yeah. Big man Boo.
But Boo does have those moments where he does shine.
Look, we've had a couple of IGLs starting to pick up the mechanical side of things too. Like, this isn't a good example of a game, I guess, in that regard for Boaster. He's on 8 to 15, he's fine. But I think a lot of people have been saying, like, mechanically he's looking a lot sharper with it. We've obviously got Boo out here doing wonders.
Absolutely agree. I think Boaster, I mean, the Deska, I think even word for word said this. Individually, I think he's looking in the best shape he's ever been.
True,
and
true. Have we got a 4-play stack? Hold on.
Do they fight for it?
Oh, it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. But Mini Boo clearing it up, takes away Boaster, removes that initial threat and initial presence. And Fnatic are once again reset down to 4 with no space to work with.
Yeah, same sort of thing we saw earlier, trying to punish that TP. This time it pays off. B site though, Woot gonna have to deliver. Finds the first. Able to slip away though. Now on the X-ray you see a triple stack behind this Alpha. Gotta be crazy to swing back onto it.
3 players in the middle of the map. A lot of pressure on Boo now. Has to fall off that. Willing to post up on the angle, and for Alpha, it is his nemesis. Which is wild, that Boo is getting the better of Alpha. Not something that I'd be banking on all that often, but Crashies! Banging shot, and Boo once again does it. He's got Alpha's number, what feels like every day of the week, but Chronicle and Crashies have a long road to walk, and they're not getting many steps towards it. Crashy's already gone, leaving Chronicle not to be able to do anything. Heretics swinging that pendulum back in their favor.
And at just the right time as well. Find themselves 11. Ultimate's available for Fnatic, but it's only really Boaster and Chronicle. And one away for Crashies, so maybe there's something that will set in motion a set piece. But this one's over before it's even started, to be honest with you.
One enemy remains.
With Boaster getting isolated like that.
Nice!
Yeah, maybe feeling the heat a little bit, because we got Fnatic's second timeout now. Again, lots to consider. Boaster 3,500, he's going to be able to get potentially a rifle and a shield together. Certainly not comfortable. That's kind of everything left in the tank, Lauren, so...
Yeah, look at those string of rounds as well. I know you guys can't see it, but it has been mostly that Heretic side. From round 16 onwards, it's been solidly in their favor, and you're looking at the financials, Mike, they're up to like 6k almost. They've got ults coming online, one away from Benji's. You've already got Mini Boos, Rien's all sitting there. Woot's a little way off, but it's not the end of the world. On the other side, one away from Crashies. Will have his ult if he can get something going this round. Obviously, Chronicle's got his and Boaster's got his, but other than that, they're scraping the barrel in this round financially. They're gonna have to try and put together anything they can here and find their response, because they've had a couple of bailout moments, sure, but we need a complete answer.
Yeah, we do. See, which is the worst initiator on Lotus?
Rien's disagrees.
Yeah.
Rien's?
I'm seeing something that contradicts that a little bit.
Don't seem right. Don't seem right. Like, I believe you, but it don't seem right.
Rien's kind of shitting on that stat, I'll be honest.
Oh my god, you said a naughty word. Please, Michael. I can't believe you're being this unprofessional.
That's because I'm at home.
But Mini Boo trying to, again, take that space. Still stay confident. Stay in their faces here. But it is asking a lot. There's 3 players on the other side. We know Fnatic's tempo is cautious. It's slow. It's methodical. Now, we've seen in the past him having the support from Benji out here. So it's hard to know what you're completely walking into. Fnatic need to get that full picture first.
Similar approach once again for Fnatic. No pressure point to really focus on so far. And a ton of utility positioned over here. And it's Benji and Woot. The Woot desperate to try and sniff out the approach, but forced back a little deeper now. Fnatic almost... I don't want to say... oh yeah, I was going to say hesitated, but...
You don't get that easy pivot here. And look at the space taken back. They're getting herded. They've got no room to work with. They're going in somewhat blind towards the safe site. Yeah, Benji is going to be considered, but it doesn't really stop him from being here. The paint shell going to go in. He's fine. It's very close. It's very tense, but on 15 seconds, that spike is not up. It's behind the wall. They've walked in late to this. Fnatic having to dig deep here. But Rien's doing the dance on the back of the site, and there's a problem. Mini Boo swings. Oh, and he's focusing the backlines. It is divine work from Mini Boo. Perfect target placement. I thought he made a meal of it, but absolutely not.
It looks like it, because you always think, yeah, Boaster's got to commit towards the plant, and then the other 2 players not able to defend him regardless. A crazy conclusion to that round, but the clock ultimately being a huge factor here.
One enemy remains.
See on the replay, yeah, that's ridiculous for Mini Boo.
Let's go!
Up to 12 now. It's going to be absolutely loving it. Guardians, a Bulldog, and a Sheriff in the hands of Boaster. Feels like Heretics in prime position. Take this first map now. I don't know how Boaster's not taking a tag there, but the second, being punished here in terms of the inventory.
I mean, look at those light shields, Mike.
Yeah, exactly.
3 of them
this
left.
Scope's going to do work here.
And the one player who had bigger armor was Boaster, who's now on 10 HP.
Are we sure Boaster's not on another server? Shots are going through him.
Oh, mate. Okay, Fnatic, where do we go now? Battered and bruised. And Boo still patrolling with that outlaw. B doesn't feel good. A doesn't feel open. You're walking in late. You haven't cleared through rubble. This is looking absolutely chopped up. I don't know how they're going to get through here. I don't think they can. 38 seconds. What's the goer? Oh, whoop.
15 HP.
Yeah, that's a good step. Kayaks, oh, okay, 30 seconds now. Clearing through towards tree, but there's still store here. There's still that wall, so they can't approach through that left side. Benji pops the ult. Cool. 20 seconds. Mike, they're leaving this so late.
Yeah, it's starting to get really awkward now. Showstopper completely shut down by Boo.
Love it.
Paranoia to slow things down. Yeah.
10 seconds left.
Look, you can do the TP. I don't know if you've
time.
got time.
Oh!
No. Oh, that's so sick. Kron, it's a formality as Heretics claim the first at 13-10. A brilliant affair between these two already. This Lotus game was a treat to watch. Heretics under the gun there initially, Mike, but the turnaround in that second half was incredible. I can't wait to see how this one goes down. We do have Haven coming up next, so don't go too far away.
GS is following. They're done.
Why Crash is not doing? Hey! Why?
Just waiting for the defuse to come on through, the time ticking down. All you need to find is one headshot. Might just be able to clock this one out and send them to the grand final.
It's all left on Vanya's shoulders.
There's one way to do it. That is the way to do it.
From the lowest, yeah. Gotta get it, the mindset, gotta put it in motion. This is the moment, gotta one up my opponent. Back then they ain't noticed me, now they know it's me. I'm the chosen. It's my time, yeah. Put that on Bible. No excuses, gotta get to the final. Take all of my idols and turn them to rivals. It's all or nothing, man. The trophy is vital. Game time, bet I'm coming in clutch. No hang time, man.
Want to keep your hairline where it is? Through Hims.com.
Yeah, whole lot of times they doubted I wouldn't be who I am without it. Sleepless nights I counted, It all paid off, it's really astounding. I had to keep the faith to elevate. Hope for better days, they were coming. Now we can celebrate, knowing every day is abundant. Yeah, it's my time, yeah, I put that on Bible. No excuses, gotta get to the final. Take all of my idols and turn them to rivals. It's all or nothing, man, the trophy is vital. Game time, bet I'm coming in clutch. No hang time, man, they can't keep up. The game's on the line, seconds on the time. Who can't fight? It's gotta be us.
Better under pressure, go ahead and let it fall on me. I'm destined for it all, you better call on me. They say what doesn't kill you make you stronger. All that pain, it done made me to a monster. They say what doesn't kill you make you stronger. All that pain, it done made me to a monster.
Team Heretics manages to secure Fnatic's pick of Lotus. Both of the teams went toe-to-toe, but in the end, Los Niños were able to get the victory on the first map. Welcome, everybody. I'm Kakuka, Ulises, and Tom joining me here. Tom, did you expect to see that kind of form? I know that you were supporting your family, but especially after the way that the first half went, did you see Team Heretics closing it?
No, I think especially with Fnatic going into the attack half with an advantage, we spoke a lot about the IGLing, the calling, and this sort of way they managed to almost mold the map to their own will. And I think when they started the attack, it kind of looked like it was going to go that way, but adaptations from the defensive side, like these fast-paced, aggressive retakes, and then just like some crazy individual rounds from Boo, from Rians, from Miniboo, like it really was like, this is why we talk about this team as like the depth of talent that they have. I know that people have talked about like, oh, if you were going to replace someone on a team, I think on this team it's always the hardest because you watch their games and you go, well, they're all ridiculous. And well, in this map, I think it shone through.
Yeah, it stands out to me, Ulises, when I look at this, I see the post plans, right? And I see two very different plans from both of the teams.
Yeah, when we're talking about Team Heretics, they were facing the team they have in front of them, and every single time facing them on Rubble, on Dawn, whatever. They're pressing, playing aggro, trying to deny the space, knowing that having Neon plus Breach is hard to deal against. Maybe Breach is not the best support. Maybe the stats is not with him when Rian's playing it.
Rian's begs to differ.
It's not the same.
I think that especially with the first half that we are speaking of, we saw a Rians that was not only always good for one, he was most likely good for two, good for three, and especially in those clutches, you could always count on him.
He's been playing so good, and it's not only the clutches. Clutches have been only the top of the iceberg. But if we talk about his utility, trying to habilitate every single time, letting Miniboo to play every single round comfort, and not only Miniboo. Also, when it was needed, he was just supporting the Omen to get the space and play on Rubble without no single trouble. It was pretty easy having Rians on the team.
Yeah, I'd say if we had Rians maybe on any other team within EMEA, we'd be talking about him as like an out-and-out star player. Like it would be every week, every stat, every highlight would just be Rians. But unfortunately, as I said, he's on a team of superstars, so he can't have the limelight all the time. But I think also you just look at him out of the server as well, very calm, very level-headed. For someone who is like a Turkish player with explosive aim, like you expect to see him just screaming all the time, but he's very relaxed. And I think that it's the perfect sort of balance to what is the rest of the squad.
Killer.
And then you look in the server and he's exactly the same as the others. Like he's solid with his utility, but then the raw aim that he has in moments where you just go, he shouldn't be winning that fight. And I think even more so on impact kills. Like if there's a kill that you go, that one kill can turn the round, Rians is getting that one kill every time.
Yeah, absolutely. We were speaking about the retakes and the different plans coming in from both of the teams. And I know, Tom, that you wanted to take a look at one of the rounds because especially when Team Heretics was on the attack, they had to get very creative to try and stop Fnatic on their feet.
Yeah, for sure. I think like this is one of those moments where we highlighted lurks a lot in the previous series, but just the sheer level of delay that Benji was able to pull off, like they have the Rolling Thunder to force them back into Benji's crosshair. Okay, it's not the cleanest of kills, But yeah, the util from Rians, but then the rest of the round is spent knowing that they have to deal with this. Like, you even have the wraparound back from Chronicle, who has to go all the way back through B just to kill him off. And by that point, the time is ticking so far along that even though they use a lockdown, even though they get back into this site, Rians, as long as he wins those first couple of duels, the lockdown doesn't matter anymore. He even gets caught by it, but the time is so far in his favor, and the person who kills him is Chronicle, who had to go all the way back around the other side of the map just to deal with that disgusting lurk.
Yeah, exactly. These are the kind of performances that make us think, hey, Team Heretics still has it. They're way ready for this. And before we went into today's matchup, we were speaking about the duelist head-to-head that we were expecting to see. And as we, as Haven is the next map, I think that we should bring back that discussion, Ulises.
Obviously, I mean, we are going to see the 2v2 duelists, Good plus Minibu against Alpha, and also Kayak that has been playing so good. I mean, this match, you can see the statistics and you're going to say, okay, Kayak has been winning. But if we talk about the tools, right now it's an 8 for Kayak. Only 2 kills for Minibu against Kayak. It's a +6 difference. It's the biggest difference that Minibu had at this moment. But let's see, we have to go deep into the BO3. Maybe Minibu can fix it.
Yeah, also, Tom, I wanted to ask you, because at least for me, they do, especially on Lotus, they filled 2 different roles, right? Like we saw a Kayak that was more with the operator, with the race a little bit on the back. But when we look at Minibu and what he was doing on the defenses, being way more proactive and just taking full advantage of Neon. Do you think that moving on to Haven, even though we expect the compositions to be the same, there's going to be an stylistic
I think on defense, especially as you sort of mentioned, I think that the Yoru has to have its sort of like variation. Like I still think you're likely to see that operator come into play, but I expect to see those like mid pushes, that space taken, looking for openers, trying to be disruptive. The interesting thing though is that the Yoru in a lot of cases, especially on attack, is more about that info. It's getting into space, taking control, and the ISOs are the one that I'm looking at as like, who's winning that 1v1? Who's winning that duel? And I think that it's definitely going to be an interesting one, because you take Alpha on that map, he did have some moments of like that vintage best in the world Alpha, yeah, like just winning rounds individually for the side of Fnatic. If you get that on Haven, they win. Like, Woot can definitely match up to that, but that's a level that not many players in the world can hit.
And let's see also how hard they're going to be trying to get to punish into Fnatic, because if we see the playstyle from Team Heretics, he's not only playing his combo, he's also playing some of his strats. And they're playing against someone that has built them. So, I don't know, they should be bringing something new.
So we maybe be turning our heads and just thinking also at another head-to-head that we briefly mentioned, and is the IGL. We expect both of them to be playing from the Omen. We saw, even though that we were highlighting Boaster at the beginning of the day, saying how he's been so proactive, well, so fundamental for all the team's success, and him individually having such a brilliant performance. Tom, that is something that we did not see in Lotus, and I feel like right now Boo is on this crescendo going throughout the day.
Yeah, I think it becomes a slightly different story on this map because it is mirrored. Like, the way that the defense worked there was having those aggressive starts to rounds and then having very, very fast-paced retakes, which when you're playing with the same comp can be more difficult to do and will be more expected, I guess, when you know what's coming. I do think that's going to be the intriguing thing, though, because we know that Fnatic, I think it was versus Vitality, had an incredible attack side, and their attack side has been almost impeccable on this map, but their defense has definitely struggled a bit. They had some very slow starts, and if you see that come out from the side of Heretics and they get rolling, when this team gets rolling, the only thing can stop them is them getting frustrated at themselves, like we saw when they played Split. But other than that, it's very difficult to get the combo breaker because you just see them laughing, having fun, like doing crazy stuff just because they're having fun within the game. And the second that happens, it is GG. Like, this Heretic squad, when they're happy, seem unbeatable.
Okay, let's jump straight into Agent Select. We do not expect to see many changes, but hey, last time Vitality changed something, and no, we're going to get the mirror compositions. Yes, pound for pound, the Euro versus
on the
Euro,
ISO now.
the ISO versus the ISO. As we were saying, Team Heretics is going to be starting on the attack. You're saying that they cannot be stopped, but what about Alpha on his prime form, where he was very close to losing against Na'Vi and saying, I am not losing this?
Hey, if you get... Alpha is one of the few players on the planet that you get him angry and he plays better. Everyone else starts to whiff, get frustrated, but you don't like that man when he's taken a loss because he's so difficult to play against. I know for a fact he's going to come into this seeing a team copy their comp, take aspects of his gameplay and try and beat him, and he's going to want to kick them into the dirt.
And also, don't forget, good saying that he's better an ISO than him.
That is also true.
That is a reason to be mad. There is a reason to just punish
But you could
them.
say the same. Kayak has said the same thing about Miniboo.
Yeah,
so we've got some grudge matches, even though they're all way too friendly for them to be proper grudge matches.
Exactly. Well, Team Heretics is one map away from closing this best of 3 in their favor, getting that first seed and continuing their win streak against Fnatic. Please, guys, take it away and take us to Haven.
This is a lovely little matchup here on this map, Mike. We get the originators of this comp against the ones who can adapt it, overcome, get stronger, get better. But who wins when it really matters? That's what we've got to look at here. Where's your money going? Are you going with the Fnatic, the tried and tested, the alpha on the ISO? Or do you believe in Heretics on the upswing after map 1? They got to know the ins and outs. Where are you going?
I mean, it's a really tough one to call. I think the one thing to say is obviously Heretics feeling very confident in terms of their ability to put this double duelist to work more. Can Fnatic, I guess, dial into the confidence we've seen, the team synergy we've seen? Everybody, there's not often you talk about the vibes of Fnatic. Oh, hold that thought for the time being. Kayak. What? What?
No! No way! Is this
Give it to him! Give it to him! Give it to him!
Kills! And that was unbelievable. Blink and you miss it. I hope you were sat down and locked in, because we've got to run that replay.
That was, I mean, the best way to start a map 2, right? We're talking about the confidence, the double duelist matchup. Oh, it's beautiful to watch back.
Magic. Absolute magic.
That's probably how you want your Yoru to start in round 1, to be honest.
You kind of said it, right? Get those head-to-heads going. We've got some big matchups here between these two. And if that's the sort of tempo, if that's the sort of level we get, this is going to be an outstanding game.
The stage is set for Miniboo, right? There's your benchmark.
Go get it.
Whether they can find a response here. Obviously, Vandal purchased in round 2 for Kayak. Orb retrieved, 1 away from the ultimate now. So a huge ult for Fnatic to have in the back pocket here to kick off the first couple of rounds here on Haven.
And 1 away from ult too. That's so nearby for Kayak. You couldn't, as you said, you couldn't ask for a better beginning. Now, obviously on the other side, brutal to try and work against an alpha. Fancies a little bit of time in the sun, but Boo's locked in today. Like, he's actually firing back here, but Fnatic, the cavalry have arrived. So now just Benji left alive, and not for long. So, as it stands, Fnatic make it past the second round. Just going to collect all the goodies, make sure none of that slips away, and they walk away with a 2-0 start.
And 3 survive as well, so able to maintain the early momentum. 7-1. Coming into round 3.
Ult there.
A huge opportunity to potentially isolate a player or 2 on the back of the ultimate if they want to try and use Kayak's ultimate aggressively. He might even explore towards mid. You got a bank on Heretics, probably anticipating it. Alpha though, kept in check, down to 67 HP.
But they got to be ready for sewers. All right, there's been some problems down there. You know what I mean? We don't pre-fire that now. So Alpha cops a whole load of damage, down to 67. But it's just a pause for Heretics here. Maybe looking to see if there will be that reaction from that ult. But you're looking at Kayak, he's already got himself tucked into the cubby over towards B. Crashies doesn't quite get the corner.
Yeah.
Don't think he made it around there.
And vice versa. No ping on the minimap, so
no. Just
curious,
missing.
yeah, curious as to whether or not the awareness is still there.
Kayak's on the right side though. Made it up on over towards the A side of the map, and this silence, unchecked, unfazed so far. Both trying to get out of there. does do so. Love this backfill from Crashies as well. Someone needs to deal with the dart for him. They've done so. Smoke goes up towards heaven. They're starting to feel a bit labored here from Heretics. They're starting to be held to the door, but it still plays in Crashies. Keep this in mind. They have no idea. It's a lazy check. A look, a glance towards it, but still Woot powers on. Clears sight until Kayak. Good trade for Boo, good spacing, but does he identify where Chronicle is? Oh, he certainly does now.
Smoke drops perfectly for Boo to spot him out.
Nice quick plant there.
Oh, it's awkward, really awkward, but Boo clutches it out. Finds Heretics their first round. And yeah, a bit of a strange engagement initially there. Fnatic almost look as if they're about to dig their heels in and lock down A site, but yeah, flash comes through. Boso, I guess, feels as if he's forced to commit towards that opening peak, but with Crashies in that position, you could argue he's almost played in behind default. Again, the scope maybe makes it a little more awkward for him, but
sure. What do we have? I saw two outlaws there as well. Actually, Kron has one of them, close to the other, trying to make the most of. Well, you can see the light shields are at.
Yeah, I was gonna say the fact that Miniboo, Benji, and Woot. Obviously, Woot being the outlier to that, but still light shields, regardless. This makes it doable here for Boaster and Chronicle.
Now, I don't know if Kayak's gonna be able to do much about this. Miniboo did get out of garage. They've recleared it really quickly, actually. You can see them just checking through this now. Kron going to be posted back up towards that window side, but it looks like it's this fake towards A. Force Crashies off the angle, try and put a couple of question marks, maybe pull a player or two, and it so far is causing that reaction. We can see it is going to be tailing back towards C eventually. Now with that smoke in, this is them trying to sell this A hit coming in.
CP. Wow. All the way towards the other side of the map, and I think now Fnatic probably know what's up. Just one trip, but nobody in a position to punish on the back of it.
30 seconds left.
It's going to be wide open for the taking.
Yeah, plant in. Benji just slipping away. He was the last to evacuate from that A side, but just watching that flank, keeping a track on it. And it looks like a three-play re-push towards Garage as well, which could be a problem. You're looking at who's in there. Yeah, Kayak. He was on the deeper angle of it, just didn't expect it there, and Rien's left on 5 HP. He might be screwed. Yeah, they're going to see all of this one. Chronicle makes light work of it, putting Benji the last one alive. And I think he was spotted earlier on, especially by Crash. He's now 100% aware of where he is. This would need unbelievable, a bloody good attempt from Benji. Jesus wept, that was so close.
4 found for Benji. Still plenty of time left for the defuse here. Crashes to close out the third round for Fnatic. A sigh of relief almost. As soon as that wall passes and the sightline opens up, yes, it's the Guardian, but Benji finding everything he needed to. Tough there, I mean, especially with Rian's getting tagged down. No real comfort to reset. Yeah, Heretics forced back down to pistols, just a few sheriffs actually. Only Boo and Benji with their ultimates. And even on the other side, they've got Stinger in the hands of Boaster, so we're trying to ride out the fact that Heretics are going to be down on lesser purchase. Whoop. Here. Double tap. Finding some protection here on the way in. Oh. Benji continuing to look sharp, but the trade is good from Boaster.
Okay. We've still got a Sheriff, so does Rien's. On the other side, obviously, far better equipped here. And it is quite nice seeing the, I want to say, Tier 1 teams really adopting the Outlaw more. It feels like we saw the Tier 2 teams really kind of showing off what can be done with it, and it's worth the risk of investment. Starting to see that more and more amongst the higher-end teams now. Speaking of Kayak, still patrolling over towards B. This is where they're heading. Gotta be cautious about this. As much as this is a lower-end buy, that B site can be incredibly lethal. Not just used towards sewers, clears that out. Smoke deep in towards the connector side on C. And away we go. Paranoia forces Kayak off the angle. That's good for them.
30
Should
seconds
get them at
left.
least a step towards the site now. And, well, seeing that Outlaw in play.
Spike planted.
Yeah, Minibu punished initially here. Makes things even more difficult for Heretics. Still only Sheriffs to work with, not able to pin down an upgrade on the back of Alpha falling. Fnatic definitely biding their time, sorry.
There goes the Paranoia. Ooh, it was a bit labored there in the end, and Rienz is going to trade it. And Boo's back on the case. Boo gets out of danger, but it should be seen. A nice reposition from him. Oh, but the shot just goes astray. Couldn't quite get it across the line in the end. Close on time, too. I feel if he got one of those kills there, could have maybe played around that tempo that was left. But Fnatic get another step in now, 4-1.
It's very unfortunate because Fnatic actually misread the TP. So if he's able to find that first freebie, certainly doable for him. Again, making something from seemingly nothing, just the Sheriffs here. Come through, find the plant, find a couple of kills to follow up on the back of Rienz and Boo. Yeah, I guess in terms of the war of attrition of that round, Fnatic still come out on top. 4-1 lead now.
All odds for Heretics.
Yeah, a stacked deck. Who's next? In terms of this ult cycle, there's going to be Minibu to try and pave the way here.
Careful here. It's you.
Okay, there it is. There's a combo, and it's got its reward. Oh, it's got its target at the very least. Woot trying to do what he can, but sadly, that was going to be uncomfortable for him. That ult going to get burnt up with no real use to it.
Crashes from downtown with the Hunter's Fury will at least force Heretics to retreat initially.
No distraction.
That's yeah, Alpha.
Now he's got a real one.
Yeah. Oh, but actually, Minibu.
Minibu wins that? Because like we've been starting to see that clone work happening more and more, which is kind of sick, but I did not expect to see Minibu winning that 1v1 up against Alpha, but both are trying to pave the way back through. This is getting real topsy-turvy here.
Yeah,
Plant going to be going in towards A.
I was just about to say Benji's lurk has actually opened a lot of space here. Ooh, got to be careful. Kayak does actually spot him on the cross back over.
Here.
And actually does, yeah, on the second tap finds it. Woot will forward, now a 3v3.
They bring it back to a manageable scenario, but they got to get moving, right? You look at the time, you look at the positions, this is not going to be easy. Rien's trying to control towards long, his timing is excellent. Catching Kayak just in between ideas. And now Crash is trying to play in Boaster potentially. They talk about their 2v3s. This one is going to be hard. But Boaster tries to take the isolated fight, doesn't get it. Rienz is rewarded as Crashies now just has to bow out of this round.
Yeah. Heretics going to be able to hold on to 3 rifles as well. An awkward opening here is, again, if Benji isn't as deep as he is. I didn't really see what happened for him in the early round either. If it's just a straight walk up mid, but kind of seals the deal for Heretics. Again, Fnatic made a good go of things. Obviously, the initial kill from Kayak to get things going. Obviously, Rian shutting down. Yeah, Minibu winning out is a huge factor for Heretics.
This coach once told me Alpha never loses those.
Really?
We've determined it was a lie.
Okay.
We've determined that. We've taken our time. Thank you for the replay.
Can we get that on a ticker above the scoreboard?
Yeah, mini analysis 0-1 so far. Ignore all the previous stats. 0-1. For a coach mini. Probably fighting for his life in Sliggy's chat. But looking at this buy, Frenzy, Sheriff, Classic, Guardian, and a Vandal. A little bit all over the shop.
We love a frenzy spray. It wasn't even a spray. You can't even fault him for it.
No.
All that damage and Benji's still at 45.
Yeah.
I got the spike.
Big upgrade for Miniboot. Finding Crashies. A 3v5 now for Fnatic. And only the one rifle in the form of the Guardian for Kayak as well. Looking like Heretics will find their third. I don't necessarily want to say, well, actually, I'm pretty comfortable behind this. I was going to say, 1 or 2 members of Heretics can afford to seal the deal here. But again, with Chronicle down on a Classic and Kayak on a Sheriff, no real motivation for it.
Nope.
Can't argue with that.
Closing it out, yeah, fair play. Righty. So as it stands, got a little bit of a turnaround here, don't we? It's too early for me to start telling the stories about it, but so far Fnatic have been, the roll's been slowed down, right? Because they've built up a good amount of bank, which still should get them a good buy here. I don't think there'll be an issue in that regard.
A little worse in slow-mo, sorry.
Did we get the replay?
We ran it in slow-mo.
That's unpleasant.
I almost would have preferred to see a player cam react actually there.
Really?
Yeah.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Nasty.
Seeing the slow-mo, surely.
I don't know. Just the face going, oh. It's all right. He's gone from a frenzy to an operator. He's gone, guys, I need a little confidence here. And he's good with this. He's normally been pretty solid. I can't actually fault him for it. I've been doubting it in the past, but you can see how hard it is to implement this up against that ISO shield coming in. You've got Heretics now running through the site. Just, again, and when you're Boaster and you've got that operator, you're probably already looking for a save here. What motivation do you have to go for this? That's a prized possession now. If Crashies and Kron can get something going, sure, but the odds are awful.
I think it really relies on, like you said, Crashies or Chronicle to find the opener. But doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Heretics happy to tuck in, nobody going out hunting. I think now probably realizing that, but Chronicle, consolation at least. As I said in the previous, can afford to throw a few bodies on the line, but probably no more than that now. Okay.
Easy, Tiger. Yeah, well, I gotta say again, great call coming out from Heretics, because it's brutal to try and hold that B side, even with the operator, right? Let's say you're there. When you've got that ISO shield just to be able to trail up with,
exactly, yeah.
You're out of the round. It's such a good read, because it's not the first time we've seen Boaster playing that sort of position on B, right? It feels quite common now. If it's available, maybe they run it, maybe they don't, but fantastic read from Heretics to kind of pull the trigger on that approach.
I guess on the other side of that as well, when Miniboo's finding an opener like that, all the way into A-Link. It's not even the B player that feels the pressure.
Yeah.
It's the second or third peak potentially onto trying to slow things down. Boaster curious once again. I think now probably noted as well, they're almost anticipating this operator to be in the hands of Boaster and be on this side. Yeah, we're
like
happy
that, though.
to, yeah.
I liked what he was trying to do, go for that secondary player, trying to ignore the shield, but you can't really ignore it in the hands of Woot. Already clearing out Alpha from the site. Down again here. Forcing the ults from both sides. Here we go, this is about to get chaotic.
A ton of information gathered on the side of both, and actually Miniboo shut down by Chronicle.
Yeah, but Boaster's just been dropped by Benji, so kind of a back and forth here. Kayak tries to isolate one. It's not going to go well against Woot. Digs his heels in towards the back of the site. It's Crash, he's trying to do anything here. Trailblaze his way forward. It's a valiant attempt, but it goes really only so far. Woot is really where this started and ended, it felt like. Cleared that corner well. Boaster found very little impact. A nice attempt, sure. But again, still able to hold this down, clearing out Alpha, clearing out all of these kills, and Chronicle, once again, just left to rot, really.
Yeah, you gotta watch this one conclude. Rians. Yeah. Rians.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I thought maybe he was gonna die. I didn't even spot the cage still there. Coming to a soundboard near you.
Yeah, no, literally, I was about to say, someone clip it. Someone clip it for me.
That'll be on Mitch Man's Go XLR before the end of the week.
Mitch is chuckling. I can hear it. I can hear his little giggle. Just... Right, time out. Fnatic. They've now had 4 rounds presented to them by Heretics, and it's been pretty impressive, to be fair. Very good reads again, and I think we've been complimenting, obviously, Boaster leading up to this point about his IGLing and kind of how well he's been doing that. Boo on the other side, also calling very well. I love how they've been very heads up about this, and especially if you're playing this comp against the people who kind of came into this with it, but it feels tailor-made. It feels like they're very aware of how Fnatic like to approach this map themselves.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, other than maybe a flash in the pan with Kayak off to a flying start, not as if they really could ride that momentum. And actually, it's Heretics to convert 4 post plants as well on the back of that. So kind of having a free run of things. Well, Fnatic are going to adjust now and maybe play a little more aggressive again with the double duelist. I don't want to say you're forced to, but it certainly feels as if you have the opportunity to justify it way more comfortably. But again, on Haven, it's always that question, right? You can pivot so quickly to another site on the back of, you know, a Yoru potentially, or even Alert coming through. We've seen Benji find value in previous rounds. It's not as clear cut as just being, you know, identifying where you want to pressure and play into.
Here.
4-1. Wow. Yeah, 4-1, I guess.
Yeah, it almost just looks like almost one of those kind of sponge retake setups towards C on the back of Chronicle, maybe the TP. You see actually the ping coming out exactly where the reposition comes from Kayak.
Oh, Lord, Kayak. Okay, the paranoia just fades away before it reaches him. He's trying to be a bit cheeky about it, and I like it. Gonna make an attempt at something. Heretics probably feeling they have some security here. Bye-bye. But that's a player noted now. Paranoia sent him from afar, but no ability to get anything from it. The swing from the smoke is rewarded. And how did Miniboo go from left to right so quickly? He got one backside by Plat and then towards CT. I do want to see that one back. And you're right, it's just Benji ratting away.
Oh no!
Hello. Hello, Boaster. Hello. This is, look, Heretics are so in control, man. Like,
they are.
They've watched Fnatic here. I mean, it feels like you could watch half of the EMEA teams and get a good idea of what's being tried to be attempted. I mean, Heretics run the same comp, but it's all those little nuanced pieces, all those little looks that Heretics seem so aware of. Just the positioning's fantastic, and they're in control right now. I'd love to see Fnatic try and turn this around to gap close, but this feels a little bit reminiscent of Lotus when it started to move away from Fnatic.
Yeah, it's very rare you do see a team kind of, I guess, stabilize and nullify any threat in the mid round versus Boaster or Fnatic in general. You got to give credit to Heretics in that regard. Now that, I mean, they have a huge cushion. 6-4 the scoreline. Look at the funds for Heretics starting to swell. And G trying to get a little cheeky. Probably the only one that's struggling financially, but he is top of the board.
And speaking of the board, Mike, and I don't normally talk about it when it comes to it.
It's weird.
It is weird, but
yeah.
I'm looking at Fnatic's side, and it's a map that traditionally, in my eyes, yeah, look at, oh, okay, it was just straight through the smoke as well. I was wondering how he got that secondary kill, but still, Alpha at the bottom here, he's only got 3 kills so far. This is probably one of the quieter performances I've actually seen from him in this map. He's been one of the great series, made that ISO look fantastic.
Kayak back to the Vitality series.
Yeah, yes, totally different. Again, being able to kind of keep him in a box, play away from him, has been impressive. Speaking of Alpha as well, it looks like he wants to try and instigate something for himself.
Not going to be rewarded initially. Can hear, obviously, the cam's position, so there's going to be that hesitation or caution shown.
Breaking down.
So giving a sound cue on the other side of the map as well.
Benji spot.
Yeah. I mean, he's just got to be hard cleared from now on, surely.
Not again, 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 not again. No, no.
Again. Again!
No! Oh man, Boaster, he's gonna be seething about that one, and Boo there even to get Alpha down. Even though Kayak got the kill on, oh wow, look at this advantage, 5v3 already, sight under their control. Fnatic, yeah, they got a bit of support from CT, but it's shot through smokes, keeping them alive. That's what they can bank on, really. Kayak and Kron are gonna have to go above and beyond. What are you meant to do here? Miniboo's already got this corner sorted. I don't know how you gap close past this.
Feels another one that Fnatic going to force a save potentially. Been so many of these examples. I think that's why you see it at Heretics with a 2-round lead and 4 out of the 5 members of Heretics negative KD.
Yeah.
Fnatic just don't really have a say in a lot of these rounds concluded before they can really put something in motion. And it's, I mean, credit to Benji in that regard, right? He's finding kills that are very off kilter in terms of the nature of how we see Fnatic perform previously.
Yeah, true.
Again, limiting the options, really. Now it's going to feel very awkward for Fnatic to commit towards clearing mid ahead of a site hit coming through.
Yep. It's all just starting to add up against them. 4 rounds is workable. I just feel like you need just to break the trend. It feels like a drought, doesn't it? And the finances still rotten.
Let's just have a quick look back, and obviously Fnatic sitting 3-0. Their favoured side has been the attack, but I gotta say, just 8-4 just never feels good, especially when it's rounds like this where we're seeing them, dare I say, outclassed in a lot of regards.
Yeah, Crashy's hoping for something to land there. Rien's is a bit lower, I guess. Miniboo taking a touch of damage as well, but it's not much. Boaster, put that barrel away. Betrayed you last time in Garage. God, I need him to not have a nightmare of a round.
I guess it comes back to that same discussion. Obviously, crediting Boaster looking the best individual we have seen, and now it kind of casts a shadow on that map 1 performance. You could say, obviously, still delivering as an IGL, and the mid-rounding looking great for Fnatic, but now the concerns continue if you can't get the ball rolling, numerically at least. Heretics now poised towards an A site hit.
Destabilizing. No distraction.
We'll throw it out. Catches Crashies.
Clean
And wins out.
Yeah, he's doing his job here, Woot. Kayak tries to make a hero play through the smoke, and now Boaster, not again.
It's Benji again as well.
And he gets his ult for a 2. Alpha and Kron in a 2v3. Good information, though, on the side of Heretics. So Alpha's shield going to be forced to wait. Back himself away here, as it's all on him. So much for him to try and achieve, to try and pry these 3 players out of position. Hard angles to clear this crossfire setup. Does catch at least Miniboo for a moment, but it's only a moment as Heretics make it up to 8-4. Mike, it feels like Fnatic are dropping the ball here.
Yeah, and I think as well, thinking back to the previous results, a 3-9 defensive half versus Vitality, they did bounce back to a 13-10, but this one feels pretty awkward, Lauren.
Certainly does. We'll be back in just a moment.
Spike One enemy remains.
Dr. Squat's natural body wash? Sydney Sweeney body wash, Genie?
What's your wish? It could be anything.
Coconut. Earthquake!
Dr. Squatch Body Wash for men who prefer natural.
Sodexo's unleashing student potential by creating meaningful moments of belonging. Study sessions become impromptu dinner parties. Midnight snacks turn into a night owls club. Belonging is about having a person, a place, a time to meet you where you are. It's the moments that fuel students every day. At Sodexo campus, everyone has a seat at the table. We are one dining hall with something for all.
The end there, that 6th round and onward, Mike, it felt like Heretics couldn't put a step wrong. Everything lining up for them. And where was the reaction from Fnatic?
I mean, look at the timeline, the amount of success they found in the post plant, and there just wasn't really, I don't even want to say you didn't see the adjustment from Fnatic, because players were falling way ahead of the fact. It wasn't as if they could even get themselves into a position to formulate some type of retake. I mean, Boaster falling in a couple of weird scenarios before the spike's even planted, can't get, you know, no smokes and no paranoia in the retake. It's just awkward, and it's not something we're used to seeing Fnatic have to overcome.
And that's where I think I agree with you. It's the surprise to see it in this sort of position, but it is what it is. Heretics looking the closer to form here, and what a message to send to do it on Haven if they can. Still an opportunity now, but look at the proactive approach here. I think Crashies is aware of this. You look at his pathing, he's got to know something's going on.
The chart is Minibu on the other side. He will get immediately overwhelmed.
Don't let it go too far, do they? Instantaneous reaction. A lot of players spotted, though, on this flank, but it's a good idea. It's the right idea, but Alpha this time ready. Sheriff in hand and locked in. Boo. The timing this side on Chronicle's side. Boo goes down. And now the rest of the retake looks a little light here as Boaster going to be rewarded. Taking down his nemesis, Benji. And just one left alive really to handle is now Minibu. And there it is. Chronicle claims it, and it's a safe start for Fnatic.
Much needed, maybe a course correction here on the back of the pistol. They can convert round 2. Yeah, I mean, great isolation on Crashies, but almost at that point he can relay all that information. And what's important is Wu is double faced. There's no chance for him to find any success on long. Actually, even Chronicle finding the wallbang as well. I believe actually down to 5 HP in Heaven, but... So yeah, obviously, I mean, conversely to what I was saying, the first half Fnatic do have a 64% win rate on the attacking side, and most notably being obviously flipping the Vitality series, or sorry, map here on Haven. Again, that string of rounds. So it doesn't make you feel as if it's a guarantee, right? It's not a given.
No. Patience being shown. Fnatic's tempo, look, they've really slowed things down here, it feels like. Yeah, obviously the statistics in the first map of Lotus kind of highlighting how tempered they play these days, but you can see the caution being displayed, and rightly so. Little high-low set here between Woot and Benji. Could be rewarded, but the dart gonna have to be dealt with by one. Away we go. Shield gone. Oh my god, they got 2. 1's fine, 2's outrageous. Woot's gonna try and make a quick escape here, but they've held off the hit.
Yeah, and a man to the good as well. They'll try and police that weapon back. We'll be able to get it into the hands of Chronicle. Certainly feeling a little more
30 seconds left.
awkward now. And never feels comfortable walking into B late round. 20 seconds left. Luckily, nobody from Heretics on the other side of this.
Yeah, it does feel like just fortune is on their side, at least in this moment, because those corners feel so threatening. But the plant's going to come down. Boaster pops it into place.
10 seconds left.
Still a number disadvantage, though.
Planted.
So if Heretics can try and fashion something together to cause those problems, deny those trades, we'll see. Trying to maybe daisy chain those smokes in, but what a shot. With Crashies falling, now they can't secure both sides. You can see the discomfort. Chronicle's gone down. How the hell is Post the last one alive as Boo sidesteps around him and the disaster strikes Mike? This was never meant to be the round.
What's the haymaker here from Heretics? Catching Fnatic off guard. A pay save card, Thrifty nonetheless. To get 9 on the board and strip away any early advantage that Fnatic could try to build on the back of the pistol.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful conversion here. The high-low setup on C, but Minibu. Sorry, the second was a headshot as well.
How's he getting that? How is he getting that?
I need a drop.
I mean, just a tilter of a round, to be honest with you.
Yes. And it's such a key point as well, such a pivotal moment. To have that upswing, to have that just fall into their lap. Well, Fnatic in the past have had their heroes. They've had their players step up to save the day, but right now no one is here to help, it looks like. Minibu, Woot in control, no access.
We'll see one of the weapons removed. No, Crash is able to retrieve it at least. Nicely placed on the windowsill, but Minibu elsewhere has removed the other rifle. Alpha will fall. Spike now down in mid. Chronicle has to make his way across, but only a classic in his hands.
Treacherous. It's just brutal to have to go and do this walk, right?
Standing ahead.
Okay, trying to feign this attention towards C, but I mean, they've got so many bodies, they don't have to
Need
be
a
too
kill.
worried yet. Yeah, absolutely. Hell, they need 2 at this point, but that's a step heard.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to get a chance to find one, to be honest with you. Mini boot, yeah, primed. To greet crashes.
No hard feelings. 30
I mean,
seconds left.
I'm going to say Mini Boo is, it just feels like he's just having he's built different at times. You give him like an outlaw or a marshal, he's going to get you a couple of kills here. Kron, yeah, there's no way around. Benji's like, hey, no, go ahead, try and get to the site.
He's in the top of the cage.
Hello there. Mate, 5-10. How are we here? I want to see this from Mini Boo's side. Yeah, look at this. I feel like I just want to watch his whole side. It's just like the whole time.
Yeah, really comfortable. On the Yoru, again, no surprises really. See, I don't see anything up on screen, but the time's not moving. I'm guessing it's attack. There's some music. Tiempo Muerto, okay.
Yeah. We're fine. We're fine. I feel like I have PTSD when it comes to pauses.
Dude. When there's no music playing, I'm like they're trying to get something ready.
Mike, I can't watch Americas because they obviously have like half the stage go red sometimes.
Dude,
for, like, the
it's
team.
just
I'm
yeah.
sort of going, America's got tech.
Was it you
Nah,
just immediately
it's
put
not.
colorblind mode on your monitor? Whenever
it
you
might
watch
help.
Americas.
It might help. It might help me.
Well,
I see what you're doing, observers. By the way, I see you.
I see it. I see it.
Okay.
Speaking of help,
get me some. I mean,
Yeah,
get
whether or
Fnatic
not-
some. Where are we going?
whether or not Fnatic are going to be able to get any help from the coaching staff yet. Again, it's got to. Well, I mean, just now with a disheartening start to the second half,
brutal, being
stripped away in round 2. And again, they're now in a really awkward position where they concede this, they're broke. Heretics on 11. You got to argue. Then they win the anti-eco. They're on map and series point.
And again, the gravitas of this matchup can't be understated. Yes, Booster. Bloody heck. Unconfirmed amounts of damage, but it's there. The fact is, it puts you 1 win away from getting into Toronto.
Which for both of these teams, absolutely huge.
Yeah, it's gold dust, right? And so for Fnatic, it's time to really buckle down here. You've got to be absolutely ready for this. If you want a chance to go into those big global events, there is no ability to be cautious anymore or, hold anything back. This is a huge opportunity. We've seen giants already fall in the form of EDG not making it out there, upsets in Americas as well. Playoffs is not for the weak-willed. It's brutal. So a huge boon to either side. And as it stands, Heretics digging deeper here. Map to the good before. Lotus in their side. Here, 5-round advantage. And now they have to try and figure this one out.
There's going to be Boo to try and I guess slow things down. It actually does isolate Kayak. Crash is good for the trade. You see on the minimap, the rest of Heretics a million miles away from this.
First time we get this tested. And something I do want to credit as well is how good Heretics are at pressuring these kind of backlines. Even if they don't fully commit to it, they'll normally kind of break the backline pressure, force a player to look away, hit that quick rotate, which we're seeing here. It's wonderful to witness, but Crashy's position might be a checkmate on this. It is! Root's been caught trying to play into the smoke. He's got them at least a man advantage, which is huge here. Alpha tries to focus in with too many targets. How's Benji got 2? How's he got Crashy's hand boaster there? Oh, dearie me, Benji. Starting to come online here. Defuse to be completed by Mini Boot. Got a bit close there.
Yeah, I was
good.
Gonna say, yeah.
Oh, good.
Again, my VMix levels aren't high enough to hear this
I got a little bit nervous.
clear enough, but regardless, 11 on the board now. And yeah, that advantage created by Crashies immediately stripped away. It almost seems a little overzealous for Boo to commit to that.
One enemy.
But even then, Fnatic get the follow-up victory. Like I said, on the back of Crashes, I mean, the timing.
Wow.
I mean, Boasters basically just
Deploying drone.
20 HP, I believe, so that's rough. Crash is going to try and find the opener here, but he actually will convert on the second blind, and Kayak doubles down.
Hey, look, Fnatic need a miracle. That might be the start of it. Plant could be coming up next, but now we are into a 5v3. And Miniboo's still got that Outlaw. Great initially, not great in a retake. Brutal to try and bring it back through towards this site. This should not be a round that Fnatic ever lose. Even with the weaponry disadvantage in certain areas, this just should not go wrong.
Oh no, Benji!
Oh, Benji, you're nasty with it. Kron's got a swing.
Oh no!
No way! No, 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 no. Miniboo's gonna do so. Oh my god, no! This is not it! This is not it! It's done! Get me out of here! Someone help me! And we're just gonna do a dirty. Kayak goes down. That should never have happened. Benji's back, baby.
Like on like a 15-second swing, by the way. He just kept swinging wider and wider.
I ain't stopping. He's just never. What the hell was that?
Yeah, that's the disrespect of that is just outrageous.
Holy.
Then doubles down on Kron.
Like he's so calm. He's so calm. I'm not calm. I'm nervous. And of course there's like someone with an Outlaw just falling out of window. It's 12 rounds. Heretics, I mean, they are elevating every step of the way, and it's a brutal beginning, back and forth until then. Boo tips the favor into their hands. Ult gonna come in. Let's see if those stats still hold for Alpha. They could do with it right now. Rien's on the run, but Alpha does win. Bring it back to this 3v3, but Miniboo in the back lines! Almost got all three of them. Putting it all in the hands of Chronicle now. He needs the 1v2. Benji going around the world if he needs to. That spike still down at long, and a minute to play with.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether or not he could see it, but so the cage going to obscure his vision regardless. I think maybe just behind the wall, but regardless, the cage will give away Chronicle's position. Utility littered across the map, so Benji could almost just stack towards Boo. But ultimately, will sit in the camp. He can't be pushed from either direction.
He's got this map on lock. Every access point he will know about. Here it is, the first signal. And they have no idea. Benji with an outstanding performance throughout this map, but Heretics in general, 13-5, Mike, on a map like this, it sends a message.
Benji just coming alive, as you said. Rumor has it he's still swinging crashes, by the way. That is just like heartbreak to see. And that's after Fnatic find a massive way into that round.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, probably a bitter pill to swallow on the side of Fnatic, because you bow out 13-5 here on the second map, and it's a huge advantage. Not necessarily to fumble, but to almost watch pass you by going into playoffs.
Yeah, and it is that advantage that goes forward. Heretics now only one game away from securing their position in Toronto, right? Getting to Masters. That's the big goal here for both of these teams. They're heavy hitters. There's a reason this game was on so many people's radar. They wanted to see what these two would do to each other. The best in 2023 up against the best in 2024. And today, it's Heretics' time to shine. A fantastic series overall. But it does beg the question. Fnatic need to reinvent themselves a little here, Mike, because it felt like they hit a wall.
Yeah, and I think we saw examples on map one of Fnatic looking really comfortable in terms of playing reactively and leaning into, I guess, the mid-rounding that they've said has been working so well for them. But Heretics, man, they came well prepped. Miniboo having a fantastic series. Alongside that, Woot and Rien's. But then Benji sealing the deal in map 2.